The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. A 14% drop in major crimes, murders down 27%, but suicides up for the first half of the year. It's the latest from the Police Commissioner's Crime Report. Plus, Prime Minister Davis insisting we aren't rushing biometric voters' cards. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. The start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Tuesday, July 29th, 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Laverne Gardner will be here filling in for Duquesa Dean. Also this morning, tomorrow, July 30th, is World Day Against Trafficking in Persons. We're going to be talking about the Bahamas' fight against trafficking in persons. And later in business, we are talking about the work of the Bahamas-China Friendship Association. They've got a number of exciting initiatives. We'll find out more about that. That's all ahead. But first, it's time for the Overnight, the latest breaking news from while you're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, there was a 14% decrease in major crimes in the Bahamas in the first half of 2025, according to statistics released by Commissioner of Police Shanton Knowles. Knowles saying yesterday there were 1,223 incidents from January to June, compared to 1,420 during the same period last year. She said crimes against the person percent, with 262 recorded up to the midway point of 2025, compared to 373 in 2024. 44 murders were recorded in the first half of the year, down 27% from the 60 that took place by this time last year. 39 of the murders recorded up to June were in New Providence, 2 in Grand Bahama, and 3 in the Family Islands. Knowles says 64% of those murders, the police have determined they are solved and closed. The case is closed. Victims between the ages of 18 and 45 make up 84% of all homicides. A man accused of raping a 34-year-old hitchhiker remanded to prison. Prosecutors allege that 41-year-old Ulrich Farrington Jr. raped the woman at 2 separate beaches after he offered her a ride on July 19th. The woman was walking to work at 4 a.m. when she reportedly accepted a lift from Farrington. He allegedly raped the woman at Montague Beach and Yamacraw Beach before he dropped her to her job. Farrington was not required to enter pleas to the rape charges when he made his initial court appearance before Assistant Chief Magistrate Carolyn Vogue Evans. He was denied bail and advised of his right to seek bail in the Supreme Court. The matter has been adjourned to December 8th for the presentation of a voluntary bill of indictment. Daniels are in custody following a shooting on Sunday that left a man in critical condition. Shortly after 1:30 p.m. on Sunday, police reported that the occupants of a silver Japanese sedan opened fire on a man near a business establishment on DeVoe Street. So according to Chief Superintendent Anton Ramig, at a press conference yesterday, one of those shootings that took place in the area, they were able to take 3 individuals into custody. Aside from the latest incident, Ramig said several other investigations have been brought before the court. And the police force is investigating 2 cases under the new Anti-Gang Act. Commissioner of Police Shanton Knowles says they are investigating the first matter. The Anti-Gang Act came into effect in August 2024, aimed at combating gang-related crime and carries stiff penalties for people convicted, including a possible $100,000 fine and a 25-year prison term. But Knowles says they've reached a roadblock and they've been able to communicate with the Director of Public Prosecutions to settle that issue. Attorney General Ryan Pinder says the Land Adjudication Bill and Registered Land Bill, which aim to modernize the country's land registration system, will establish a secure and publicly accessible record of land ownership and facilitate transparent, reliable, and accessible land administration across the country. Working in tandem, the new bills will address land disputes and issues surrounding land ownership and see the implementation of a new system supported by land adjudicators, a land tribunal, and a land registry. Pinder says the government met with officials in the Cayman Islands and Jamaica and reviewed their land adjudication and registration legislation while preparing the bills. He noted the hefty weight of the project, calling it a complex implementation, but remained confident, outlining his goal to start land adjudications by the 1st of 2026. Meanwhile, F&M Senator Darren Henfield expressing support for the proposed bill, saying that the F&M organization of land dealings, but stated that the new system must be built on a foundation of transparency and integrity. And Prime Minister Philip Davis dismissing concerns raised by the opposition that the government is rushing the implementation of biometric voters' cards. Davis, speaking at the PLP's Central Link-Up on Wolf Road last night, said the new cards will not disenfranchise anyone. Davis said the F&M is, quote, running around accusing us of rushing the use of biometric cards they failed to finish. He said it was back in 2020 when the F&M passed the law for biometric voting cards. He said that they passed the law, then got scared of their own shadow. Overseas, Russian glide bombs and ballistic missiles struck a Ukrainian prison and a medical facility overnight as Russia's relentless strikes on civilian areas killed at least 22 people across the country, despite U.S. President Donald Trump's threat to soon punish Russia with sanctions and tariffs unless it stops. 4 powerful Russian glide bombs hit a prison in Ukraine's southeastern. In the south, authorities say at least 17 inmates were killed and more than 80 others wounded. In another region of central Ukraine, authorities say Russian missiles partially destroyed a 3-story building and damaged nearby medical facilities, including a maternity hospital and a city hospital ward. Officials say at least 4 people were killed, including a 23-year-old pregnant woman, and 8 were injured. India's Home Minister saying today that 3 suspected militants killed in a gunfight in disputed Kashmir the day before were responsible for the gun massacre in the region that led to a military clash between India and Pakistan earlier this year. Amit Shah saying the 3 men were Pakistani nationals who were killed Monday in a joint operation by the military, paramilitary, and police on the outskirts of Kashmir's main city, Srinagar. Shah said made the remarks in India's lower house of parliament. Independently, I verify the claims, but Shah said rifle cartridges found at the site of Monday's fighting matched those used during the attack. He said the bodies of the men were identified by residents who had provided food and shelter to them before they carried out the massacre in April. It was not clear whether the locals were considered accomplices. Meanwhile, a ceasefire between Thailand and Cambodia appears to be holding as tensions linger despite a truce agreement to end deadly border clashes following economic pressure from the U.S. The ceasefire that was reached in Malaysia was supposed to take effect at midnight but was quickly tested. The Thai army accused Cambodia of launching attacks in multiple areas early Tuesday, but Cambodia said there was no firing in any location. The Thai army later said fighting had stopped after military commanders along the border from both sides met. They agreed to halt troop movements, avoid escalation, and establish coordination teams ahead of a joint border committee meeting in Cambodia on August 4th. And Haiti's government saying Monday it plans to send 400 police officers to Brazil next month for training as gang violence overwhelms the troubled Caribbean country. Currently, Haiti only has about 10,000 police officers and 1,300 soldiers protecting a country of nearly 12 million people. A total of 700 Haitian police officers and soldiers will be trained by foreign countries in upcoming months and will then lead UN-backed mission in its fight against gangs. During a rare press conference held for international media, leader of the Transitional Presidential Council, Fritz Alphonse Jean, saying that, quote, Haiti is weak and we need special training. Last week, 150 Haitian soldiers were deployed to Mexico for training as gangs that control up to 90% of the capital encroach on more territory. From October 2024 to June 2025, more than 4,800 people across Haiti were killed by gang violence. Hundreds more have been injured, kidnapped, raped, and trafficked, according to the United Nations. Gang violence also has displaced more than 1.3 million people in recent years, with Jean noting that the government is trying to ensure that Haitians are able to return home soon. The government started distributing money to some of the tens of thousands of people crowded into schools and makeshift shelters. It's time for sports, brought to you by Kalik. Lee Van Sands is headed to the SEC. The former world and Olympic medalist turned coach will join a group of Bahamian coaches at the University of Kentucky in Lexington this fall. Rolando Lonnie Green is the head coach. Debbie Ferguson McKenzie is an assistant coach with responsibility for sprints and also a recruiting coordinator coach. Now the program is set to benefit from the arrival of Sands. Bahamian national record holder in the men's triple jump said he's excited for the opportunity and is looking forward to doing his part to lead the program to prominence. Read more on it in today's Guardian Sports section. Kai Jones is in. The Bahamian basketball standout who missed last year's FIBA Olympic qualifiers has committed himself to playing in the 5 FIBA AmeriCup next month, thereby giving Bahamas basketball a huge boost in its attempt to qualify for the 2027 FIBA World Cup and the 2028 Olympics. The Bahamas will be among 16 teams in the 2025 FIBA AmeriCup, set for August 22nd through 31st in Managua, Nicaragua. The top 3 teams in each 4-team group will move on to the FIBA World Cup 2027 Americas qualifiers, from which they will have a direct shot to qualify for the 2027 FIBA World Cup, the biggest and most prestigious tournament worldwide, sanctioned by FIBA, the International Basketball Federation. Jones saying in an interview with 10-year seniors that he is ready to jam in the Premier Regional Championships. More on that in today's Guardian Sports section. For Major League Baseball, Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred and Philadelphia Phillies star Bryce Harper exchanged during a question and answer session between the commissioner and the team. That's according to a person with direct knowledge of the conversation. A person speaking to the Associated Press on Monday on condition of anonymity, Philly slugger Nick Castellanos previously confirmed some details from the meeting in interviews with the bandwagon at ESPN. Speaking before Philadelphia's 6-2 loss at the Chicago White Sox, Harper did not dispute the published descriptions of his confrontation with Manfred, saying that he wouldn't be getting into the details of what happened. Manfred met with the Phillies and Red Sox during their series last week in Philadelphia. The session lasted more than an hour. Manfred spoke with the National League team about the media landscape and working together to grow the sport. At some point, Harper told Manfred that he was there to talk about a salary cap and that he could get the expletive out of the clubhouse. And Colorado coach Deion Sanders disclosing Monday that he was diagnosed with an aggressive form of bladder cancer. But after surgery, his oncologist has considered him cured, so he plans to coach this season. His doctor, the director of urologic oncology at the CU Cancer Center at UC Health, University of Colorado, said Sanders removed as part of the surgical plan. Sanders, who turns 58 next month, has drawn headlines for his health, but the focus largely was on two toes he had amputated and concerns over blood clots. He said he's had 14 surgeries since 2021, when he was still the coach at Jackson State, but kept his cancer fight private. At sports, brought to you by Kalik and Pop the Top. Back and bigger than ever, Kalik the Beer of the Bahamas giving away up to $200,000 in cash and prizes. Purchase your favorite Kalik beer and look under the cap. You could be a winner. Free Kalik beer, free merch, or cold hard cash could be yours just for drinking Kalik. Kalik reminds you to drink responsibly. It's time for your first check of weather, brought to you by Star General. High pressure is dominating the weather across the country, except for a few isolated showers and thunderstorms drifting across the bank, while the northern extent of a tropical wave will drift south of the area. Gentle to moderate winds and mild seas will be prevalent across the country. But another tropical wave is going to move through and introduce an unstable air mass to the southeast Bahamas by Wednesday. That's going to generate shower activity across those islands. Small craft operators in the southeast Bahamas should exercise caution when fishing at nighttime due to overnight wind surges, increasing winds to 20 knots or more, especially south of Inagua. Elsewhere, high pressure will continue into the weekend. So expecting another hot day today, another day with heat indices in the triple digits and UV indices in the very high range as well. Your forecast for today for the northern and northwest Bahamas, mostly sunny and fair tonight with a 10% chance of isolated showers. Wind southeast to south at 10 knots or less, falling light and variable at times. For the central and southeast Bahamas, partly sunny today, becoming fair at night. For the central islands, partly cloudy, 10 to 20% chance of isolated showers and thunderstorms. Winds easterly at 10 to 15 knots, but gusting tonight for the southeastern islands. Temperatures across the country, highs around 93 Fahrenheit, 34 Celsius, but the heat make you feel like it's 103 Fahrenheit, 39 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to a warm 80, 81 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have more on your extended outlook coming up in a bit. This weather brought to you by Star General, insurance made simple.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up.
You are listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up.
Your idea of loving every journey happens now. Free up cash with affordable auto financing from RBC. With competitive rates and no bank fees, it's the perfect time to make every journey something special. Apply now to pre-qualify in 60 seconds at rbc.com/auto loan to shop with confidence. Conditions apply. RBC, your idea of loving your journey happens here.
top with collect. Check your cap at 700. 200,000 in cash and prizes with winners on different islands. Collect. Pop the top with collect. Check your cap at 700. You could win free bears, take a sip and collect merchandise. Matter say, I pop mine and so Mariga. I pop mine and comedy look with free bears. I go in and just check your cap. When you go round Bahama. Collect. Pop the top with collect. Check your cap at 700. You could win free bears, take a sip and collect merchandise. Matter say, drink responsibly, boy.
It's time to upgrade the way you enjoy at-home entertainment. Alive Fiber is here. Enjoy all your favorite channels and streaming apps, all at lightning-fast internet speeds with affordable bundles, and it's only a click away. Visit www.alivefiber.com to sign up now. Stay connected, live your life. It's good to be alive.
Looking to elevate your gadget game or a tech trouble simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers' cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village. Or call 396-1100.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Is your business ready for the next big step? More inventory, new equipment, a larger space? At Fidelity, we offer commercial loans tailored to suit your business's needs. Inquire today. Call 35.
We're good for you.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. Also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me on this Tuesday, filling in for Duquesne Dean, we have Laverne Gardner. Laverne Gardner, good morning. Are you there? Can you hear us?
Morning.
Hi.
Good morning. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're a little bit low. I don't know if it's you or us, but we'll try to work on that. But great to have you with us today.
It's good to be here today, and good morning to our listeners.
Yeah, hopefully we have you for the whole show today, right?
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah? What? Yes?
Huh?
Well, okay. Great stuff. We have a lot to talk about, a lot going on in the news. We'll get to that in a bit. But also, did you know tomorrow is World Day Against Trafficking in Persons? And now we're going to be talking about that today, what the Bahamas is doing in the fight against this. And later, the Bahamas-China Friendship Association has a lot of exciting things going on, a number of events, and they're going to tell us all about that in our business hour. That's all ahead on this Tuesday. The final Tuesday of July 2025. Wow. But let's talk about what's in the news. And in the news, big crime news, the Commissioner of Police holding a press conference to update the public on what they've been seeing, crime trends for the first half of the year, and some interesting developments. Major crimes are down, including murders compared to last year. Are up. For more on what's going on, take a listen to this report from our Vonique Toot. I'm going to get to that report right now.
Major crimes in the Bahamas decreased by 14% between January 1st and June 30th, 2025, 27% compared to the same period last year. Commissioner of Police Strachan released the mid-year report of the Royal Bahamas Police Force during a news conference on Monday.
Major crime across the Commonwealth of the Bahamas decreased by 14%, with 1,223 cases compared to 1,420 over the same period in 2024. There were regional decreases across the board at rates of 15% in New Providence, 11% in Grand Bahama, and 6% in the Family Islands District. Crimes against the person, which is a cogent proxy to measure the fear of crime, has significantly decreased by 30%, with 262 incidents compared to 373 over the same period for 2024.
Between January and June of this year, 44 murders were recorded, down from 60 during the same period in 2024.
39 were in New Providence, 2 in Grand Bahama, and 3 in the Family Islands. We were able to solve 64% of all murders recorded in that period. Victims between the ages of 18 and 45 represents 84% of all homicides. Again, retaliation, gang, and conflict continues to trend as the most common motives for murder, representing 64% collectively. These homicides were more prevalent in the South Central Division. Firearms were used in the commission of 34 of them, and fatal gunshot wounds remains the leading cause of death in these cases.
Knowles also reported a decline in sexual offenses, including rape and unlawful sexual intercourse.
Rape decreased by 24%, with 25 cases compared to 33 over the same period in 2024. Cases of unlawful sexual intercourse decreased significantly by 34%, with 57 cases compared to 86 for the same period in 2024. The majority of sexual offenses victims knew their assailants in both categories.
Armed robbery declined by 42%, with 76 incidents reported in the first half of 2025, compared to 132 during the same period last year.
Most armed robberies occurred at the street level, residents and businesses respectively. Firearms continued to be the weapon of choice for the commission of armed robberies. Burglaries decreased, housebreaking decreased by 39%, shopbreaking decreased by 16%, stealing by 10%, and stealing from vehicles decreased by 4%. The most frequent items stolen from vehicles included cash, cell phones, and personal effects from vehicles such as Nissan March and the Honda Accords.
Traffic fatalities also decreased by 11%, with 34 deaths recorded between January and June compared to 38 last year. Additionally, police seized 196 illegal firearms and over 8,000 rounds of ammunition. Authorities also confiscated over 2,600 and over 2,100 pounds of cocaine. The commissioner said the force is operating at a higher level of productivity. She also addressed skepticism about the report's findings.
We can only present the numbers as they are in real life. We have seen a significant decrease in the past 6 months. We're happy with the decrease. We thank God that His Spirit is lingering over the Bahamas and we are having the decrease. We just need the public to understand that we will not mislead them in any of our investigations or in any information, especially me sitting here to address the public. Everything that we give to you is what is documented in our research and planning and policy department. Those are the people who crunch our numbers daily to make sure that the public has the accurate figures.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Vonique Tude.
Okay, let's get your reaction to this, folks. I want to hear from you on it. Before we open the phone lines, though, just want to read this part of an article in the Nassau Guardian today on this, Laverne, by our Rachel Scott. So this is about the number, one of the things that's trending in the opposite direction. Most of this is trending in the right direction, but the suicide count, right? The commissioner reported a 60% increase in suicides and suicide attempts. There were 8 suicides in the first half of 2025 compared to 5 last year, while attempted suicides increased by 39%, with 32 recorded between January 1st and June 30th, compared to 23 during the same time last year. All of the suicide victims many of them were reportedly experiencing depression and anxiety. So asked about recommendations that suicides no longer be classified as a crime, Knowles said, quote, "I don't have a position on that right now. I can only give you what I have. Of course, we'll have to have further talks with others in our organization and in our government to see how that would work out. But I do not have a position right now." It's an interesting question, and Knowles said there were 4 police-involved shootings in the first half of 2024. 1 was fatal. There were also 91 complaints against police officers, and 85 are still under investigation. So nearly all. She said there were 67 internal cases, of which 47 remain under investigation. Knowles said, quote, "As we move into the second half of the year, we expect to see more of these cases adjudicated, and we have added to our tribunal courts." She says she and her team are committed to following through on their policing plan and using all their resources to fight crime. Okay, let's get your reaction. Give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Laverne, before we get to the calls, anything standing out to you? Anything that's really piquing your interest?
Overall, the fact that crime is down in most areas, of course, great. And so that's wonderful to hear. It'll be interesting to hear from our listeners how they feel. You know, sometimes crime can actually be down, but the fear of crime is still there. So I'm interested in hearing other perspectives. And while it's down, of course, people are still experiencing or being victims of crime, right? Mm-hmm. But I think the most alarming thing to me is suicide rate and the fact that it has gone up significantly, and it just continues to re-emphasize the fact that people are vulnerable, people are experiencing issues, and they need help. The fact that the victims of suicide have been males also reaffirms the fact that we need to create an environment where men feel heard and supported. It is okay for them to say that they are struggling and then to receive the kind of support and help that's necessary to get them through whatever it is they are experiencing. And so we cannot minimize the plight of men in our society. And we, as the public, do the best that we can to create those kinds of environments where it's okay for a man to say, hey, this is difficult for me. I'm going through a rough period for whatever the reason is. And they feel like giving up. And it's okay for them to say that. We need to do that. And then we need to support organizations that are already doing that.
Yeah.
But there are people who are in this world, who are in our society, who, for whatever challenges they face, they are now feeling hopeless. They're feeling as if there's no point to living. They're believing and being deceived that their temporary situation will not change. And so what is the point of going on?
Yeah.
So we need to be sensitive to that. We don't need to say things like get over it. We need to be sensitive to that and see how best that we can help and provide hope and encourage people, and especially our men, because I think we do leave them sometimes on the wayside. You're a man, be a man. As if being a man, you don't have feelings, you don't have emotions, you don't experience hard times.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Well said. Callers, I'll get to in just a second. The only thing I'm encouraged by these numbers. This is good stuff. But the perception issue that you mentioned. The thing is, for me, especially the lawlessness that we are seeing on the streets.
Yeah.
And that appears to be getting worse. People are doing whatever they feel like. And I know the police are using this after the fact policing type thing, right? So we'll get you, we'll check out the CCTV if you report this, and we'll go after the person. But we need their presence to deter this action.
Honestly,
we need to see the police out.
You know how, like, when you're in the U.S. and they're like, you're just driving and there are police officers stationed at certain we need them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Honestly, because like you said, driving on these streets, I'm really trying, and I think that I've done a better job of managing quote unquote road rage, but to see the constant traffic violations, the recklessness with which people are driving, it just
and I don't know,
blows my mind.
I don't know about Freeport, but here in Nassau, we know where it is going to happen. It's Gladstone Road. People are creating 3rd, 4th, 5th lanes. There's Prince Charles Drive. People are turning right on red at certain spots, and the left lane. These are, I don't know what to call them, but they're monsters. They're just turning out anytime they wish. Right in front of you. And it's really, really crazy and out of control. Other things, we've seen it, people driving on medians, people driving on sidewalks, people driving the wrong direction. This is going on, and clearly these folks believe they can get away with it, and so they do it. And that has to stop.
Right.
They are getting away with it, right?
They are getting away with it. Well, it's on I'll tell you this, it's on any street, traffic light in It can happen. It doesn't matter. There's no rhyme or reason.
Yeah.
It's just gotta go where I want to go. And so too bad for you.
Right.
I'm going to cut you off. I'm going to turn where I shouldn't turn. I'm going to go in another lane because the light is on red, and then in front of you and go where I want to go.
Yeah.
It's so
that's my only wish.
Yeah, traffic. We need traffic officers stationed. I'm telling you, Dwight, if they just station themselves at these traffic lights and roundabouts.
Yeah. And as we've been saying for years, these things lead to people feeling they're invincible and that they can do anything. I can steal this because no one's checking. I can go and take this from that person and take off this bumper because there ain't nobody checking. And people so jaded, they won't report it. And it's cracking down these little things will make a big, big, big difference. Really, really will. And again, the perception that this is a lawless country is mainly because of this kind of stuff. But let's hear from our listeners. Good morning, caller. What say you?
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
And good morning, Laverne. God
Good morning.
got it right this morning.
Yeah, for the
Dwight and
first
Laverne.
time.
Dwight and Laverne, if you go back 4 commissioners and 4 right, and read the statement that was read on right, if you just play it back, you would not be able to determine if you was talking about 5, 10 years ago or 15, 10 years ago and today. Because why? Crime only appears to be going down to me on our papers, right? Because you see, these crime reports, Dwight and Laverne, it's only to give the to try to make the government feel like they are doing something when it relates to crime. But in reality, right, when there's nothing to justify what the police crime reports read every year. There's no justification for it. It's only there for them to say, well, look, yo, we doing something, but we don't really care what if the public say, because this can be broadcast and the people who hear it can no, Dwight. If you do it, and I sure your archives are in place. Try to see, Dwight, if you could play one of these times, right, on your show, some crime reports, 5, 10, 15 years ago, and play it like it's the news and see if we can know the difference, Dwight. It's the point I'm trying to get to, because we have to get serious, and I really didn't know that what you call it, homicide is a crime. I mean,
What
somebody
now?
could help
You
me
mean
with
suicide?
that.
Suicide.
You mean suicide?
Suicide.
Yes, suicide. I didn't know that was a crime, because if it is, who was the crime against?
The ultimate crime against person.
No, but then, all right. Well, if I commit a crime about how I get charged for that crime, because crimes are supposed to be things supposed to be able to charge people. So how you can charge somebody for committing an alleged crime of suicide? That makes no sense.
Well, this is an issue all around the world, so it's not just unique to the Bahamas. But yeah, perhaps we need to move away from that. We do need to move away from
clarify
that.
Man, right?
Yeah.
Really, because you can't charge nobody for killing themselves, and you can't even suggest the fact that because they killed themselves,
No,
you have
it's
to
the
determine that
attempts.
that's a crime.
But I don't think anyone's been charged with attempted murder in a very long time here. A very long time. We've moved beyond that. But just for optics, take it off as a crime entirely. I think that's what the reporter was asking. But yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but who's committing the crimes, right? I mean, there are a few exceptions, but it's the people, right? The public. So,
I don't, and I like you, I understand the point that our caller is trying to make, but I'm not going to completely dismiss the report. And not accept it as true based on their numbers, right? And what they're doing. That may genuinely be the case. However, the fear of crime may be high, and that impacts people. And of course, people who are victims of crime, if you're a victim of crime, you're not comforted by the fact that the numbers have decreased because you're a victim and it's like this personal to me. But I'm not going to just dismiss it as, whatever. Yeah. I'm going to accept the numbers as was presented by the Commissioner of Police.
Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Vern?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. Yeah, I think generally or worldwide, suicide is not considered like a murder, even though both murder and homicide result in the loss of life. I guess they want to categorize it separately so that the numbers don't be too big.
Yeah, so perhaps it's not the police force that'll be talking about. It'll be social services or some other Ministry of Health, perhaps, maybe, right? So when they talk about cancer and those other things, they would include suicide, not the police.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Dwight, there was a time in my life when I considered suicide. And I confided in someone, and I told them exactly what was going on, and that they were able to trace it all the way back to my childhood years. Trauma that was going all the way back there. And it's amazing. That's why I always say crime committed against children, you don't know how far-reaching that is in their life. Because, not everybody have the resilience to or the educational empowerment to deal with the pressures that comes along with living on this planet. Not everybody fit for that. And I think, like you said, if we could just take care of these small things, a police sitting right at the light just for a couple of hours would make a big difference in traffic flow and order. But we're not looking at the small little things that lead to the big things. We just try to wait till you commit the most heinous murder and then have the biggest splash on the front page and then have a politician say, we'll put that on the back page. We need to address this seriously because, and I was toying around, man, after I was able to get over my problems, and I said, man, I really, really have these tendencies. And then another friend of mine told me, well, I tell you how to do it. The best thing to do is to make sure if you do it, make sure you do it right because you don't want to mess it up and then be a burden to other people. Having to contemplate all these factors, but you better live.
Why did that friend tell you that?
Well,
anyway,
no, they were not serious.
Did that help you? Them telling you that?
They were jokingly
But
serious.
joking is anyway. Okay,
yeah.
I don't know if joking is the thing to do when someone tells you that.
No, but that's how friends talk to one another, man.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I'm glad that you are opening up about that. It takes a lot. A lot of people would not do that, so I appreciate you for that. And glad that you're still with us. All right, so I just did a quick Google search, and this is an article from the UK Guardian from a few years ago.
I think you and I are
reading the same one.
Reading the same thing.
So suicide
as well.
is still treated as a crime. This was a 3-year-old article, but still treated as a crime in at least 20 countries. It does mention the Bahamas in here.
It does.
But most of the world has moved to decriminalize it. Again, it wouldn't be reported by the police. It'd be reported by health officials, perhaps.
Well, it does say we're among the four where it may be discounted.
Yeah. Yeah, we have not done that. And I cannot even remember a case where somebody was charged
Bahamas,
with attempted
Bangladesh,
suicide.
Guyana, and Kenya.
Yeah. But it's just, like marital rape, there's things you just got to push through. Anyway, let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi, are you there?
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Laverne.
Hi.
How you doing?
Doing well.
Good morning.
Good morning. Listen, I listened to the police commissioner's update. Dwight, crimes, especially murders, were committed by means of firearm, illegal firearm. I would like to know what is the commissioner's position on possession of illegal firearms.
It's a crime. You know that.
No, pardon me?
It's a crime. You know that.
Yeah, but I mean, is she pushing for stiffer penalties like her predecessor was? Is she encouraging her minister to bring legislation and the Attorney General who promised that he would bring stiffer penalty but just sitting down doing nothing while all of these illegal firearms are on the street and people can get firearms like they get candy from the store? I would like for her to speak to that.
Well, I mean, you mentioned the predecessor, right? And where did that get him? And what are you doing? Are you telling these folks who are?
I would like to hear it from her too.
I mean, she's one person, and
she has the heir of the minister. She has the heir of the prime minister. And secondly, Dwight, she said gangs. That some of these crimes were gang related. Several months ago, she said that we will bring somebody to court.
This is something we need to do.
Listen to me, Dwight. Listen, I am stating what
instead of going to stupid rallies and what do they call it, sitting in the park, talk to these people to fix the country.
The commissioner said that, and we will be bringing somebody to court to prosecute them under the anti-gang law, right?
Yep.
That has never happened.
Because it's challenging.
Maybe her minister told her, don't waste your time.
I don't think that's it. It's just very
So
difficult
why,
to prove it.
if
The
you know these
legislation is
people are
tough.
involved in gangs, if we have laws on our books, why are they not being brought to court?
Because anything could be considered a gang. It's very difficult.
So why do we have the legislation, Dwight?
This is what we're saying. You need to talk to these MPs.
No, but these MPs, they wasted the people's time debating this stupid thing, and they know, like all the other laws, that they were not going to do nothing. My final point is, where are all of these, doing independence celebration, when they have the tattoo? You see all the people on motorcycles and all these things. I'm just talking about the mobile unit. And after that, like, they just go underground, eh?
I see them at least once a week ushering cars to car lots.
Yeah,
so they're very busy.
We need the commissioner. You need to have these people on the streets, policing the man. So where I'm all of these? You see females and them. They on these motorbike. I never see no female on this one once or twice, man. They need to get up off their blankety blank and go and be on the streets in the morning and stop this lawlessness from happening. Because people, like Laverne say, even though murder has gone down, we know that people got guns, and they're just looking for the opportunity to use them.
Okay. All right.
That is what we need to put the fear of God in them.
Thanks a lot. I'm not sure why you mentioned the females. What's the deal with that? But anyway, okay, I don't care if it's the female, the male, or the canine. As long as they're on the bikes, patrolling the streets, do something to deal with the lawlessness that we're seeing. But okay. But yeah, some of these things, you can imagine the commissioner's hands are going to be tied, but we, the public, need to make sure that legislators know that this is what's important to us, that we do not think the gun penalties are stiff enough, right? We have to do this. I'm sure the 400,000 or so folks who live here will have more influence than one commissioner. And as you mentioned, we've had commissioners say these things before, and yet here we are. Oh boy, did you hear that crazy guy who slaughtered those 4 teenagers? We don't even know what the reason is, but he got 4 consecutive life sentences. You heard that? No possibility for parole.
Excellent.
But can you imagine what we would have done here? Can you imagine? And then all of the victims' families got to say something in court. And you can imagine how powerful that was. But
yeah.
No options like that here. But we would have done concurrent, and it definitely would have been life, and somebody would have, what's going on here? These are the messages that we're sending. And I know the commissioner's role is very different, but the judiciary, all of this plays a factor in creating the sense that there are laws and lawlessness in the country and the effectiveness of the laws. But when people hear about those things, you only got 20 years minus the time served, and since you confessed, you got this, and so you end up with 2.5 years for 5 murders. People freak out and think the place isn't safe. So the police are doing their best, and we salute them, but there's some other aspects of this that need to be worked on.
We have to review. And yes, enforce the laws. But some of our laws need to be reviewed, revamped.
Yeah. And again, that's really going to be
just
up to
doesn't make
us.
any sense.
Up to us to make sure they know. Yeah, it's nice to party and to go and shake pom-poms at rallies, but
these are our concerns, and this is what and more of us need to say.
Speak
there
up.
are some who are saying it, but we need to say it collectively.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we're looking for. I'm not interested.
Particularly their supporters. Because they think anybody else saying it is against them, when that may not be the case.
So the supporters need to say it.
Mm-hmm. I love you guys, but
to the rally.
What about this? Exactly.
Right.
All right, let's read some
the
text.
The question then is, do the supporters care?
They care when their people are in opposition.
Because they may be happy with the way that it is. You go to the rallies, you get some food, you talk about whomever your opponent is, and
You get a
go home.
contract and you can afford to get some security. I don't know how it works, but you know,
I
life
don't
is
know
good.
either.
Life is good when your people are in, and then you recognize every problem when your people are out.
Right.
This texture says here the statement made by the Commissioner of Police is incorrect. Oh, really? People raped every day who they think they're talking to. This is a lawless country from top to bottom. Civil servant, judges, police, immigration, everybody, etc. Wow.
Well,
Okay.
if that's the case, though, she can only speak to what is reported.
Yeah.
And I'm not being facetious when I say this, but Texter, if you have information, if you are aware of this, as you say, this is happening every day, and I'm not saying that you're incorrect, I'm just saying, if you are aware of these incidents, are you encouraging people to report it, the victims? Are you reporting? Because again, the commissioner of police can only go by the reports that she has.
Yeah. Quite a few text messages concerned. Again, this has been a long-standing concern of the public that the police refer to matters when they've made arrests as solving the case, especially when this doesn't necessarily lead to a conviction in court. That's a long-standing complaint, very long-standing complaint about this, the language they use, but from their point of view, they believe they've solved it. Any update on the Michael Johnson case? Isn't that before the courts? That's before the courts. This person says here, it's very refreshing to hear Laverne advocate for men for once. Wow. I don't think it's for once. You just aren't listening. You only hear what you want to hear. But they commend you for standing up for Laverne. Yeah.
It's okay.
But they'll go around telling everybody and calling, apparently this is a new thing. They call other talk shows and other stations to complain about what they heard on this station, which is very odd.
It's not a new thing. That's not a new thing.
It's the hot thing. The hot thing. But this tattletale nonsense.
It's not a new thing. Long before I started listening from other stations, people talking about you.
Oh, really?
I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's
not a new thing.
Okay.
The callers call around and they express themselves.
Uh-huh. So. You heard what that guy said on that station this morning? Yeah. Wow. We know what certain people were like in school. Hey. Anyway, what's so sad about it is that the authorities know where the infractions take place and they are nowhere around. I guess they're talking about the same thing we're talking about, traffic issues.
Yeah.
Exactly. You just named all the areas. Right. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. Children who don't drive know. But yet we're left to suffer every single day. This person says here, it's so bad on these roads. I try to avoid driving on this island. I stay in the Western District where there is some sense on the road. Oh, really? Yeah? Okay, I guess it's only bad when I go. Well, nice. Good for you. Get to stay in the Western District. While the Prime Minister cannot seem to reconcile the contradictory statements concerning the surplus, he is out at a PLP gathering misleading people again. Now, as it pertains to the biometric voting system, the Prime Minister needs to tell the people the true concerns that right-thinking Bahamians have about it. Right thinking, eh? It's not that they are against the system, but rather the time that it would take to get such a system up and functioning properly. So, you expert people, how long do you think it would take? Although I don't want to have another conversation about this. We've done this for how many days now? But how long is your expert opinion on how long it would take? This person says the streets of this country are very dangerous. Speeders, especially these motorcycles, are out of hand. Stiffer laws need to be enacted, especially for the motorcycles popping wheelies. Make this a crime punishable by confiscation of the bike and indefinite suspension of the driver's license. Okay, I mean, it's should it be a crime? I mean, if the bike is not registered or licensed and there's no insurance, but driving in a reckless manner.
Is it against the law? Isn't it?
Driving in a reckless manner.
Aren't you supposed to wear a helmet?
You're supposed to wear a helmet. But if you're doing all that, so the only issue would be driving in a reckless manner, and that should not warrant confiscation if you didn't hurt anybody.
I think driving in a reckless manner, and the fact that you're not wearing a helmet, because we're seeing a lot of that now. It's like these motorcycles on the road, they can only drive on their back tire. They're seeing how long they can be up in the air. They're veering into the next lane. It's so I don't know if I'm 100%. This is
Core drivers too. I mean, anyway, but don't get me started on that.
I don't know,
Huh?
but I would say that even if you don't confiscate right away, like after the first, I'm not going there with your little diss just now, your
This,
shade of
I'm
what.
speaking truth.
I would say
If you see an
that if
SD
there is
Honda Fit
more than
behind you,
one,
pull off the side of the road. Oh, I'm telling you. Not
if
just
there's
one,
more
no
than
matter what
one
color. It's
infraction,
all of them.
but let me finish my
Okay,
thought.
I'm
I
sorry.
think
I'm
that
sorry.
if
Don't get
there
me worked
is
up.
more
Road
than
rage.
one infraction, then go ahead and confiscate.
I hear you. Yes, well, we need a point
Like
system.
do a 3 strikes
We need,
or something.
absolutely need a point system for everybody, all motorists, indeed. But you can only get points if you have a license. Ha! This person says, don't run up your pressure over citizens born before 1980. What does that mean? I'm born before 1980. Aren't you, Laverne? That's not
Yeah,
me.
I
That's
don't.
not
I
me.
don't really know what that means.
No. Anyway, the concept of good political representation is lost on them, and to millennials, it is a fleeting dream. I think plenty of people of every decade have these feelings. Not
Yeah.
everybody,
Mhm.
but hey. It's not difficult with the implementations of the right technology and surveillance. I think they're trying to say wiretaps, electronic bugs. This is not difficult. I strongly disagree. The police need cams, as many of them are also gang affiliated from school ties, compounded by the fact that the force is a gang. Wow. What? How come it took the states to catch some of the police officers in New York in that operation? Well, okay. This person says this is the first time I can recall someone in authority admits that there is a police shortage. The public knows. Who did that? Did someone do that? You see them evaporate after a few hours of traffic. Who admitted this? Did I miss it?
I don't know.
Did the commissioner admit that?
I didn't hear that.
Are you calling us authority? Mean that we don't see them on the streets? Because, well, thank you if you're referring to us. But, okay. Evaporate after a few hours of traffic. Now can we go a step further and have police brought in to help us? We bring nurses and skilled labor in, but our own national security is always ignored with the lie that they have enough manpower. You got a point for that. Now update us about the garden leave case while you're okay. Again, that's a court matter. Please tell Laverne that motorcycles have front tires. Motorcycle front tires are very expensive. What did I miss? What did you say?
Okay. So just use the back tire. That's what they're doing.
This person says, Dwight, you can't say that. My sister has a Fit. Is she renting it? She's a terrorist.
You know what?
Trust me.
I'm not. Why we could do a whole show on that.
Oh my
You
goodness.
know that.
Oh man.
So let's just leave that alone.
I think. Anyway, let me not give my idea out on the air.
Why leave
What?
that alone? We're not touching that today.
Let's take these calls before we go to the
Right
news.
on.
Oh my goodness gracious. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Are you there? Okay. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning, Dwight. Good morning, LeBron. How you doing, man?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm great.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, everything blessed, man. Everything blessed. Yeah, Dwight, I agree with the history teacher, man. The tattoo is of all the brand new motorbike. School open. Like the roundabout by the graveyard on JFK, and then the roundabout by Myla Butler and Tony Williams. They have them there in the morning, but they don't have them there every morning. Why you can't have them there every morning, especially when school open? And then down there on Soldier Road in Prince Charles by the next funeral home, it's certain sports really should have police every morning, especially when school open, man. They have, because hey, that Myla Butler Bay, that traffic bay, if they're policing by that roundabout, they ain't coming off Myla Butler Bay. And Gladstone Road, but they ain't come, that roundabout ain't gonna let them out. The police in there, they ain't coming out, sir.
Okay, but see,
I have the roundabout design, the traffic can't come out.
Right. You mentioned by the lake, right? So Gladstone Road. The issue, though, the traffic may be heavy, but the issue is further down Gladstone Road, where people are really doing a lot of nonsense. That's where the police need to be. People are driving on the grass. People are making, again, multiple
Little past Aquinas and everything, heading the watch around about and everything, yeah.
Chaos.
3 lanes, and then, man, you should see, like, there down the Michael Road in the morning when you take the shortcut from Bacardi Road, and you come out where the new Ivory Plaza is, and then, man, they make 3 and 4 lanes coming out to the Michael Road down the back there, and then say that, and then with the motorbikes, well, the States, you don't need no helmet in the States. In the United States, you don't need shades. So they might as well make that law over here. But you don't wear a helmet.
I think it depends on the state. Yeah,
but you don't wear a helmet over here, man. Like, come on, man. Just the Bahamas. You ain't licensing your bike. You ain't wearing no helmet, man. And the police light in the back you on the red light, and then you pull off and go, and they don't do nothing.
See, this is the same problem. Okay, thanks a lot. See, that casual thing, this is why we're seeing chaos in the streets right now, because no one expects this, even though it is a law. And so when people disregard certain laws, they will start to pick and choose, and then they end up disregarding all. So if you don't want it to be the law, you need to take it off the books. Right? That's crazy. That's crazy stuff. Let's take this one really quickly. We've got to go to news in just a second. But caller, good morning. You're on the air. Are you there? Hi, good morning. Good morning. You're live on the air. We can hear you. Hi.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Mm-hmm.
I have a situation I'm trying to find out that maybe the Bahamians don't know about at the Princess Margaret Hospital.
I'm pretty sure you don't want this on the air, live on the radio. Maybe you need to call them. That sounds like that's going to go very, very, very south in a bit. But let's call back on one of our main lines, and we can try to help you or direct you to somebody else. Let's read these messages as we get ready to go to the news. This person says, do motorcyclists ride the same crazy way in Grand Bahama, Laverne? I thought this was just a Nassau thing.
Yeah, no, it's not.
We's all Bahamians, from Grand Bahama and Abaco in the north to Largo in the south. You will find these is not island specific what we do, not at all. And then there's lots of people moving between the islands, and they bring their ways with them. So no, it's everywhere. Oh, this is a great song, Fred. Okay, we got. Somebody saying here, the parliamentary commissioner suggests that it will take between 8 to 10 months to get the biometric voters' cards done. Okay. Plenty of time. Right?
We have time to do it.
We have time.
Because it's not like we know,
Yeah.
Everybody keeps saying it's a rush, right?
We got to go to the news.
We know when election is.
Well, someone knows. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Okay.
Nobody gonna spend my money when I go to my grave. Yes, I's a Bahamian. Don't wanna make no fuss. But if you we know, but outside tell you ain't one of us. Like Andrews grabbing though. Don't act like you don't know, you know. Man, you know. Oh, man, you know. How Bahamian go. How they go, how they go, how they go. Oh, don't you know? Man, you know. Yes, man, how Bahamian go. How they go, how they go, how they go. Let's go.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on Guardian Talk Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. Also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 4224796. Standard text rates apply. Once again, it's time for our weather. This weather check brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. We've got high pressure across the country, except for a few isolated showers and thunderstorms drifting across Key Sal and the Great Bahama Bank, while the northern extent of a tropical wave south of the area. So gentle to moderate winds and mild seas will continue throughout the country over the next day or so. But another tropical wave will introduce an unstable air mass in the southeast Bahamas by Wednesday, generating shower activity across those islands. Small craft operators in the southeast Bahamas should exercise caution when fishing at night due to overnight wind surges, increasing winds to 20 knots or more, especially south of Inagua. Elsewhere, high pressure will continue into the weekend. Everyone's being advised to remain hydrated and limit outdoor activities if you can. We're expecting heat indices to be in the triple digits and UV indices to be in the very high range. Your forecast for today for the northern and northwest Bahamas, including New Providence, mostly sunny, fair tonight, turning with only about a 10% chance of isolated showers. For the central and southeast Bahamas, partly sunny, becoming fair tonight for the central islands, partly cloudy tonight for the southeastern Bahamas. High temperatures expect 3 Fahrenheit, but the heat index will make it feel like it's 103 Fahrenheit or about 39 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to around 80, 81 Fahrenheit, 26, 27 Celsius. In your extended outlook for Wednesday tomorrow, partly cloudy to cloudy in the central and southeast Bahamas, partly sunny, partly mostly sunny elsewhere. A 30 to 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms for the central and southeast Bahamas, only about 10% chance elsewhere. By Thursday, a mix of sun and clouds during the day, becoming fair at night. Partly cloudy for most areas by Friday, partly to mostly cloudy by Saturday, partly cloudy for Sunday. The tropics are quiet, tropical cyclone formation not expected during the next 7 days. That's your morning blend weather check brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. Dull walls bringing you down? Well, Sherwin-Williams has the cure. Don't have your place looking toe up. Get that glow up with the superior quality of Sherwin-Williams paints. And it's time for traffic brought to you by RBC. With RBC, reaching your goals happens here. In your real-time traffic, we're seeing heavy traffic on Milo Butler Highway. That's in the northbound lanes from Fire Trail straight up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway if you're heading northbound. And traffic backed up a bit for you on Tonic Williams Darling Highway westbound to that roundabout, Milo Butler Highway. Over on Blue Hill Road, things are busy for you from about Carmichael straight up to Soldier Road. Traffic backed up along Carmichael as well. And this is mainly northbound along Blue Hill Road. Soldier Road is going to be busy for you eastbound to East Street at this hour as well. And pockets along Prince Charles Drive in the major intersections. And along Wolf Road, just west of Mackey Street traffic right now. A reminder of the work that's going on Joe Farrington Road. Some of that work is now taking place in the daytime, so there are detours. Keep that in mind. If you can avoid the area, you really would want to do that. But that's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend traffic alert, brought to you by NUA Insurance, agents and brokers. Need cover you can count on? Well, you can buy motor insurance your way. Stop by your nearest branch or visit nuainsurance.com. Simple, secure, and ready when you are.
No one likes a fender bender. Oh, man. From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
What makes a hero? Someone who makes a difference in their community. Someone who has performed an extraordinary act of bravery or kindness. Someone who touches lives without recognition. Does this sound like someone you know? Through the CIBC Caribbean Unsung Heroes program, you can nominate your unsung hero for recognition. Nominations should be in one of two categories: outstanding work in the community and act of heroism. Send nominations to unsung heroes at CIBCFCIB.com on or before July 31st, 2025.
Get ready to catch the thrill and win with Shell. Fuel up with $20 or more and unlock your shot at unforgettable prizes.
We're talking regatta trips to Exuma and Harbor Island,
Free fuel, grocery vouchers, water park passes, and more. Just snap your receipt and WhatsApp it to us at 242-422-0271. The vibes are high, the prizes are hot, and the summer is yours to win with Shell. Only at participating Shell stations in Nassau. Now through August 22nd. Terms and conditions apply.
You try to rest, roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and binders, magazines and flyers. For window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's none, and considering a better deal, CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that
We're back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner on this Tuesday morning. And we are talking about crime, getting a reaction to the crime report that we got from the Commissioner of Police for the first half of 2025. 14% drop in major crimes, including murder. But the suicide number is up. Suicide rates increasing by over 60%. All right, so we had continue the conversation. Laverne, folks, give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. All right, so we got I can't read this message, but you did text us this last week. You've gone into more details about it, about what you're seeing as voter fraud in your area of Engliston. I just really need to know, have you spoken to the authorities? You're accusing at least one major party of doing some very underhanded things. Who have you spoken to? Who have you spoken to? Something has to be done. If you've seen this, please, encouraging to do this. Laverne, you ready for another call?
Sure.
Okay, let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, Dwight Laverne. I don't say something else, but he's getting to the newest.
Okay.
Dwight, are you talking about driving up on the grass? What's the story on Gladstone Road? And that's supposed to be a dual carriageway. What's going on with that? Because when that didn't do, you wouldn't be able to drive on the grass.
Oh, I'm sure people will find a way. It's still on the table. The last time we had somebody in from Ministry of Works, they said they were working out some things. I know they were trying to purchase some property, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen before. It's going to be a while before that's done.
They say they're going to start 25. Yeah. But Dwight, what's going on in the Bahamas is that the vehicles in the Bahamas have outgrown the roads. The roads was designed like from around in the 1920s to 1930s when we had horse and carriage. If you from Baltimore, they move a lot, but a lot of little wooden structures is right on the road. Mm-hmm. If you walk out your front door, if you don't look good, you'll get knocked right down. Yeah. And what happened? We spend millions of dollars designing this road, right? The roads, right? It's like I don't know if you're familiar with the South Beach area by the South Beach Police Station and Esso on the Run. They designed the road where if the light on red, they have a lane for the left where you're supposed to turn and continue going to head into Pinewood. So like if two cars on the light, when the light on the red, you can't get to this lane. Now, Esso on the Run of all this grass right here. On Prince Charles, when they make the roads dual carriageway, when they buy up all them people's properties, they make them move their walls back. They had to move their walls back 6 or 8 feet, and they paid them for that. Mm-hmm. Why didn't they just pay Esso for that grass? We don't need no grass, and they ain't need no grass. Move that grass and start the turning lane to go into Pinewood from like up in Esso entrance. See what's happening now? A lot of people take shortcuts through Esso. They speeding through there. If you go inside to pay with your card, your debit card, and you can walk back to your car, you better be careful because that little section in between the building and the pumps, you'll get knocked right down. There people speeding through there taking shortcuts.
Yeah.
But what happened is, by now in 2025, we've been listening to have an overpass. I hear in the Dominican Republic they have an overpass. Right? Like how you live out east, if you had to go Life-a-Key, you're supposed to enter one overpass like up in the Harvest Church is, and the business on the exit like by East Street and Blue Road, and if you don't want to come off, you're supposed to ride straight and come off down by Life-a-Key roundabout down there by Royal Bank and Shell gas station. Mm-hmm. You've been listening over, but see the traffic
10 minutes, right? You should, and it should get me there in 10 minutes, maybe 15.
Right, in 10 minutes, and it'll get you there in 10 minutes. Coming from the east, we only got the Eastern Road, Prince Charles, and Joe Farrington Road. Them three can't do it. You say the three of them must be between 7 and 9 o'clock. Mm-hmm. That alone, that is frustrating the people too. It's caused road rage. Traffic is caused stress too.
Yeah.
So our roads outdated and thing too, man. We have to upgrade our roads. All right, thanks, Dwight.
Thanks a lot. Mm-hmm. Thanks a lot. I hear you say made for horses. I don't think the horses really could have navigated the roads either. I think they're too narrow for horses. But I hear you. There are lots of these. I don't know if you have that. I doubt you do in Grand Bahama, Laverne. But where you can see like why don't they do this? Like every day you can say this, and you're like, wait, am I the only one noticing this? Clearly you're not. But why don't they put this lane here? Why don't they turn this way, and this would make it easier? But the responsiveness is completely lacking. You see the solutions all the time, and you're like, if they did this, that would cut down on people doing this. But yet years go by, and it continues. You know, obviously something we've talked about a lot of times that. Harold Road and JFK, the roundabout there, there is an exit lane, but people keep using the roundabout. I've seen accidents. It's going to get very bad. People are doing a lot of nonsense. Why isn't something done? You've either got to extend the exit lane or stop the exit lane, something. But yet everyone's just allowed to create havoc there. And there's so many other places like that. But I don't understand the motivations or the lack of motivation for what happens on the streets around here. It's perplexing and frustrating every day. It really is. Let's take these calls quickly, and then we've got to take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
The last caller, you think we play in Roblox? You could just put... the biggest issue in this country is there's too much cars, too many cars, man. No city urban planning, no nothing. Like, I'll give you an example. 10 years ago, I don't know if you've been west by the airport heading into Old Fort. I don't know when last you drove that way.
Not too long ago, but what's happening?
If you would take a drive out there, it'll be unrecognizable.
Mm-hmm.
Because what's happening now is that 10 years ago, you could have thrown a stone and wouldn't hit a car driving on that 2-lane going into the Old Fort area, Laifiki area from the airport.
Right.
Now, you have major developments happening out there. Obviously, Solomon's Fresh Market, the new Venetian West Plaza going up, Airport Industrial Park has more expansion and all that stuff. Right? There's traffic chaos and nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
1 lane after 10 years. In 10 years, I've watched the traffic build, and no one thought about the infrastructure upgrades should be happening with new construction.
Mm-hmm.
We see it happen in all of these communities around the country, and we do not upgrade the infrastructure. We do not upgrade the infrastructure, and that's the issue in this country. We take the money from taxes and do not upgrade the infrastructure for the growing needs of this country. And infrastructure don't just mean finding lanes to put for these amount of cheap cars and things we important in this country. It means creating public transportation and ways where we can maneuver this 21/7.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot that can be done. Yeah.
Exactly. And the frustration and it is people just frustrated and people panic and they just don't want to be sitting in traffic to go to a mile up the street.
Yeah, it's
crazy, man.
It's insane. Thank you so much. I think to the previous caller's point, though, that we can find money for a lot of things, a lot of things, and you have to plan for the future, right? You have to think about what things are going to look like in 10, 20, 30 years. And there are lots of places that are supposedly doing much worse in the Bahamas financially, that economically, that do have multi-lane highways and overpasses and whatnot. One more call. We've got to go. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there? Good morning. Okay. Our final word on this, Laverne. Our friend Misogyny is saying here, we need a special law against women who put on makeup in their cars. I've literally witnessed about 10 and have also been involved in about 2. Okay. Yeah, sure. We got a law against texting while driving, and yet that continues, and people always running up in front of people and behind people and on the side of them while texting. So all of this, but you want to single out that one? Okay, sure. I mean, why not? Anybody putting on makeup. Why not? You're going to squeeze that one in? Yeah. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Hi, good morning.
Hi, Dwight. Hi, Laverne. Good morning.
Hi, really quickly. Got 30 seconds.
Yeah. We talk about laws. My personal view is we have sufficient laws on the books. I don't think we need to pass anymore. It's just a matter of enforcing the ones that we do have on the books, which seems to be a major problem. A lot of these issues that we discuss, especially as it pertains to the road usage and courtesy on the road, can easily be done if we would just enforce the laws that we have already. My final point on this is, we talk about, being their bikes in the middle of the street, or in the midst of traffic, which is one of the most, I want to use the word on the radio, but I mean, it's one of the most foolish things that we see on our streets. It is already hard enough for motorcyclists to utilize our streets, but yet we have these young men who have no care at all, it appears, for life, for not just their lives, but other people. You pop in the middle of traffic to and from on both sides. You pop in the middle of the traffic. You don't know what the intention of a driver will do, whether they will cut left, cut right, stop sudden, or whatever. And these guys still persist in doing the nonsense. So I don't know what it is, if it's something in the water that they drink or in the food they eat, but I just don't get why the antics are in the middle of the street. And lastly, these cameras on the street. Shouldn't they have the technology where when you have created an infraction, they will pick up the infraction like in the States and they send you a ticket with video evidence that this is what you did. I mean, we have to think beyond where we are now.
Send it where? Send it to what? Oh, he's gone. But where would you send it? Because you're borrowing a car, you're renting a car from God knows who, and you don't have a license. It's real madness out there. Real madness. And again, we salute the police for what they're doing, but this is one that needs to be a lot more done. The lawlessness on the streets, and we desperately call for the police to make their presence felt so that people will not feel they can do anything they wish any time of the day or night on the streets of the Bahamas. Got to take a break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Remember when they used to have big dance in the bike all night, knocking the conch style and jamming rake and scrape until the morning light. You remember when we used to sit by the fire telling old stories? Mosquito they biting, but they ain't biting we cause it's too smoky.
Don't shop at Sherwin-Williams then. Don't get the best service in the Bahamas then.
The love is really, really strong in Sherwin-Williams. We don't just sell paint. We service you with a smile, good hearts, mind, soul, and body. And we love our customers as much as we love ourselves.
Yes. Real talk.
I'm not just saying this
Real talk.
to impress myself.
We love to go beyond with customer service. So they feel delighted to come in Sherwin-Williams because they know I can either see Dee Dee, or I can see Shelly, or one of our other wonderful staff members. We treat our customers with the respect of our boss because there are many paint companies they could choose to go to. No, baby. If they go to some other paint companies, so I gonna get this little thing at the end of the week.
We want to make sure you get that little ting, Shelley. Come visit Shelley and Dee Dee at Sherwin-Williams Bahamas, and you'll surely find colour in every day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what you're banking, Well Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Wendy's and Coca-Cola is giving away up to $25,000 of hot cash this summer. To enter, upgrade any premium combo from 1 through 12 to a medium or a large for your chance to win the grand prize of $10,000. Don't miss your chance to win big this summer. Visit your neighborhood Wendy's, upgrade your favorite lunch combo, and win hot cash. Rules and restrictions apply.
Shell, you home? My gas just gone out. Let me that small barbecue tank you have. I tell you long time, go get a barbecue tank from Caribbean Gas. They just got a new shipment of tanks of all sizes. Now you know they always have the best prices. Call them, Caribbean Gas, 361-6007 or 552-9597. You want to use my phone? Here, call them now.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice. It's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom have solutions, computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with custom computers. Call the Know-How team at 396-1101.
Are you being smart about your money? Protect yourself from investment fraud and scams with these quick tips. S. Spot scams by staying skeptical and alert. M. Magnify or zoom in and question suspicious offers. If it seems too good to be true, it usually is. A. Always authenticate sources before sharing personal info. R. Report scams to the authorities. T. Trust only licensed financial institutions. Visit centralbankbahamas.com or email exr@centralbankbahamas.com to learn more.
When it comes to hearts at Cleveland Clinic, you can't miss a beat. You seek the best care possible, work with the brightest minds, and leave no stone unturned to get to the heart of the matter. Because understanding is always the first step to overcoming. For every heart in the world, see how we're advancing the future of heart care at Cleveland Clinic today.
Rescue me, would you get my back? Would you take my call when I start to crack? Would you rescue me? Would you rescue me? Would you rescue me when I'm by myself? When I need your love, if I need your help, would you rescue me? Would you rescue me? We don't talk much, not anymore. Broken bottles, slamming doors.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. And World Day Against Trafficking in Persons is July 30th. That's tomorrow. And we're talking about trafficking in persons here in the Bahamas. Very pleased to welcome from the Trafficking in Persons Secretary with the Ministry of National Security, Sergeant Camrea Brainan. Great to have you with us again. Good morning. Let's get your mic up there. Let's try that one more time.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Bahamas, and thank you for having me.
Good to have you. All right, so trafficking in persons. Let's get a definition in there. This is different from smuggling.
Yes.
Explain the differences.
Okay, so trafficking in persons is a very heinous crime, and the term trafficking in person and human smuggling are used synonymously, depending on what part of the world you're in. But trafficking in persons it's a form of modern day slavery involving victims who are typically threatened, forced, or deceived into various forms of what we see here in the Bahamas is mostly sexual and labor exploitation. Smuggling, however, is usually when one person contracts another to take them across international borders.
Yeah.
And though these two crimes, they share similarity, they're both profitable businesses involving human beings. However, they are two distinct crimes.
Yeah.
Trafficking is not voluntary, okay? And we've already indicated that smuggling is you voluntary contract with someone to have them take you across international borders.
Right.
With trafficking, the commodity is always the individual. That's the thing, or the person, the being that's being sold. Well, to the traffickers, they're referred to as a thing, but they're actually human beings, and
Are they often kidnapped? Are you?
Well, that
how does
happens
work?
in other parts of the world, but what we see here in the Bahamas is more so where deception comes into play, trickery, lies, coercion, things of that sort. When you talk about it from a national standpoint, and so with smuggling, the commodity there is the service of movement. You're paying to be moved. You understand me? And so with smuggling, again, usually the transaction is completed after successful border crossing. Once that individual has successfully crossed the border, or whatever international borders, that transaction comes to an end. However, trafficking entails exploiting an individual. And so victims, once they would have arrived at their expected destination, they are not allowed to leave. They are held against their will, and they are then forced into these different forms of exploitation.
Right. Well, and we've heard about it, people holding their documents.
Yes.
There's no way they can even try to leave the country.
Exactly.
Yeah. So how big a problem is it for the Bahamas? We know this is a big problem in the world, but what are we seeing here?
I would say over the last 10 years, there has been an increase in the amount of victims that we see here in the Bahamas. We do have and have had in the past Bahamian nationals who have been victims of human trafficking or trafficking in persons.
Bahamians?
Bahamians, yes. But mostly a lot of our victims, we see them coming from the Caribbean and Latin American countries. So places like Venezuela, Trinidad, Colombia, Jamaica, Haiti. And so it's on the rise. Last year, we had about 3 separate investigations where we identified 1 victim, and then in previous years we've had the identification of 2 and 3 victims.
Wow. So Bahamians are involved in the other side of it, as in the traffickers? Is that what we're seeing?
Yes.
Oh, dear.
We have Bahamians who are involved as traffickers, as victims.
I don't know if you can get into some of this, but what
sorry.
sectors? What
Sorry, good
sectors?
morning.
Yep, Laverne,
Yeah, I was going to ask the penalties once you, for Bahamians who are involved, you found that they are involved, they're not victims, but they are involved, like what would be the penalties that they face?
Okay, so the legislation enacted by Parliament in the Bahamas, the Trafficking in Persons Prevention and Suppression Act, 2008. Anyone in the Bahamas found convicted of engaging in trafficking in persons, they can be fined anywhere up to $10,000, and they can face imprisonment from 3 years to life imprisonment. And Dwight, you mentioned the withholding of documents. That is one aspect that falls underneath that law. And so that, but of course, at the end of the day, it is still up to the judges and any other mitigating factors that comes into play with regards to the penalties that these traffickers serve.
Yeah. So give us some scenarios as to what we're seeing, like what's happening with the Bahamians of trafficking in people.
Right.
Persons.
So what we have seen that's been most common, again, is the deception aspect. And so you find traffickers prey on individuals' vulnerabilities, and those vulnerabilities can range from unemployment to inequality, depending on where from, the after effects of natural disasters, poverty, civil unrest. And so what we see most commonly here is the deception aspect, where we find persons trying to flee their homes to find a better way of life, trying to provide for their families. And so traffickers, they tend to use especially the internet, that aspect of it, social media, to send out advertise or send out advertisements of job opportunities. That's a big aspect right there. Job opportunities, really targeting those persons, again, who may be unemployed or who may be having a issue with poverty and providing for themselves. And so they send out these advertisements, or they advise, say, for jobs like caretakers, bartenders. They advise for maids and things of that nature. And they would normally say in the advertisement, we'll purchase your ticket, we'll put you up, you'll receive $300 to $500 a week, and it makes it look really enticing for that person who's now seeking employment. However, when the individual now arrives here to the Bahamas and they connect and they meet up with the trafficker, one of the first things they do is they take away their personal documents, again, making it very difficult for them to leave the country and return to their families. They, a lot of times, as I indicated earlier, they are threatened, their families are threatened, and they're held against their will. They're confined. They're not allowed to leave once they do get here, and
Are they put to work in the areas? They are.
No. I was about to get there.
Okay.
They're not put to work in the caretaking industry or the bartending industry. Their bodies are being sold, whether it is for sexual exploitation or whether it is for labor exploitation. And again, like I said, that is what we see commonly here in the Bahamas. These men and women, because anyone can be a trafficker. A trafficker does not have a face. You understand me? And so these men and women who traffic these individuals, they force these persons, whether it be women, men, and or children. They force these persons into these forms of exploitation. Again, whether it is having to essentially sell your body over and over for a price, and you're not even getting anything back from that. The trafficker takes control of the monies and the funds.
So, Sergeant Bennett, have we had someone prosecuted before? Where do things stand with that case or those cases?
Yes, we have had persons prosecuted here in the Bahamas for the crime of trafficking in persons, and that matter has since been completed before the court. The trafficker was ordered to pay restitution to the victim.
This was a Bahamian?
Yes. He was ordered to pay restitution to the victim and to also undergo rehabilitation. Because at the end of the day, we still want to be able to rehabilitate those who have offended and give them an opportunity to reintegrate into society.
No jail time?
No, jail time was served. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, jail time was served.
Right. And what happened to the victim? What do we...
So part of what we do at the Ministry of National Security is care for victims. And that care encompasses so many different aspects. When you consider the trauma that a victim has had to endure during that time where they were in the trafficker's reach and arms, and you consider the psychological, physical, mental, all of this now we have to consider as it is our duty and our mandate at the Ministry of National Security to properly care. And again, also with our victims, help reintegrate them into society. And so they undergo counseling sessions. They are afforded with vocational opportunities. They receive, because again, a lot of times we see that one of the vulnerabilities with our victims as well is, lack of education. And so we want to put them in a better position so that when they have successfully completed the program, again, they are able to reintegrate, putting themselves less to be trafficked. And so they receive a stipend and they get assistance not only from the Ministry of National Security, but also from the Ministry of Social Services, because those are the two ministries and their ministers that are responsible for combating this crime in the Bahamas.
So are they helped with getting back home, or is that not a situation they should be sent back to?
It usually we leave that up to the victim. The case will go on. But when you think about it, if you're coming to the Bahamas, let's just say I'm coming from Jamaica, more often than not, I'm coming here on the words of a friend who said, well, hey, I know about this job opportunity. And once you've already arrived here and been victimized, again, you don't have any family here, you don't have a source of comfort here. We find that a lot of our victims, they prefer to return to their home countries. That's notwithstanding that the case still does not go on, because it does. It's just a source of comfort for a lot of our victims to return to a place that they call home.
Yeah, wow. So we don't get to see many of these victims when they are being trafficked.
No.
So, how would you recognize a victim if you ran into somebody?
I would say...
Or that there's a situation going on.
Right. I would say it's important for us as citizens and residents to be vigilant. And it's a very underreported crime. A lot of times the victims, honestly, they're unaware of what's even happening to them. They're unaware that it is even a crime. But you find that some of the common signs that we see is that victims tend to have visible signs of injury and abuse, and they appear to be fearful. In terms of labor exploitation, you find that we have victims who are working excessively long hours in conditions that are not conducive. You may find that they may be suffering because of the toil of the hard work and the hard labor. They may have some, body injury or body pain. And then on the part of the sexual exploitation, the abuse comes from being hit or being abused by the trafficker. They don't have access to their own money. They definitely don't have access to their own personal documents. In terms of the health sector, you find that you may have victims going there with numerous STIs, unexplained abortions. You may find that victims are addicted to drugs or some substance, alcohol or drugs, and then they rarely appear alone. In the case of traffickers and victims, they are always in reach of their victims because, of course, they don't want to give their victims an opportunity to run or alert somebody.
In a store, they could be working in a store.
Yes, that is very possible.
Oh, wow.
That is very possible, and that's why it's so important for us.
But they wouldn't have a work permit, right? Or would they?
They do, believe it or not.
This is getting. See this? What?
A lot of our victims come into country legally, and the trafficker then goes and applies for a legal document for them to work. So on the superficial side of things, it would appear that this is legitimate. It would. And that's why it's important for us to bring awareness, to inform the public. So that if anything, you get that gut feeling, you go out one night or you're just moving randomly about on your daily activities and you see something that doesn't just sit right with you. We like to say, if you see something, say something. And so if you get that gut feeling, something doesn't just feel right, something seems off, you find that there's someone who's speaking for the individual. You find that, the individual may be looking around and apprehensive, things of that sort. And it's not an all the time or everyday situation. That's why it's
going through my head with all these.
Yes.
Say, are you sure it's not all? Because I'm wondering anyway. Laverne,
Yes.
this is very serious, right? I mean, oh boy.
Yes, it is.
This is, yeah. And of course, as you say, they can't say anything. They're being watched. Wow. So what else can we do as members of the public?
Become informed. This is an excellent platform, and I believe that a lot of Bahamians are not even. I don't think trafficking happens in the Bahamas. I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and I said, as small as we are, 21 by 7, just over 300,000 by population, and to think that such a heinous crime takes place here with some of our own people. I believe that the first step is being informed, knowing, understanding, and you can find that information online, as well as at the TIP Secretariat. We always go out into communities with government, non-government, civic organizations, and we conduct what we call awareness trainings. Because to know is to help, is to assist. And then again, too, because again, like I say, it's underreported. Even from the victims themselves. And so, that poses a slight disability. But again, it's important for us, if we know and if we are aware, then when we see, we can call the relevant authorities. Because, of course, we don't want our citizens jumping in and acting heroes. But we do have trained personnel who are able to investigate and detect.
See, I don't want to get you in trouble, Sergeant Braden, but I mean, is this possibly why we're seeing so many people who are not Bahamians working in certain places and in certain industries, and why we've seen such an increase in recent years? I bet you can't answer that one.
No.
But, it makes you go,
It does.
Wow. Anyway, World Day Against Trafficking in Persons is tomorrow. Is there going to be anything special happening?
Most definitely there is. Firstly, and we're observing it not only here nationally, but globally around the world. And here nationally, the Prime Minister, there will be a proclamation signed by the Prime Minister proclaiming tomorrow as World Day Against Trafficking in Persons here in the Bahamas. That proclamation will speak to the bodies that are responsible for combating this crime here in the Bahamas. It speaks to the legislation. It speaks to what we can do and how we can play a part as citizens. And so I admonish persons to pick up the Nassau Guardian or Tribune newspaper tomorrow and have a look at that. Additionally, Mrs. Anne Marie Davis, spouse of the Prime Minister, she will share a brief message on trafficking in persons that will be broadcast across television and various platforms. Okay. Again, I admonish our listeners to, take some time and listen in on that. And further to that, well, this was something that we initiated yesterday evening in partnership with Independence Drive, Church of God, the Trafficking in Persons Inter-Ministry Committee and Task Force held a church service or a prayer service for victims and survivors of trafficking. It was essentially a trafficking in persons prayer service. Okay. And it was a night of prayer. It was a beautiful and powerful session where prayers were rendered not only for victims and survivors, but for perpetrators as well as for the nation and for families. And that was something that we did yesterday evening. It was well attended. Remarks were made on behalf of the Honorable Minister Wayne Monroe by our permanent secretary, Miss Bridget Hepburn. And so this year, we're taking or using the technology as a platform and a means of getting out there and spreading the word throughout the Bahamas. Hence the message by the spouse of the Prime Minister, Mrs. Anne Marie Davis, hence my presence here this morning. We have another interview later this evening. And if persons listen in to the radio stations and pay attention to social media platforms, they will also hear and see visual and audio public service announcements providing information on trafficking in persons. Okay. We know that the use of technology is everywhere in this day and age, and in this time, that's everybody is on some kind of electronic device. And so that is where we got the angle to do that this year.
Well, definitely a lot to think about. Okay. I'm tempted to say, should we ask everybody if they're working against their will? But no, I guess you shouldn't do that.
No.
But definitely a very serious matter.
It is.
Thank you so much for being here again to talk about it. Sergeant Camrea Brainin with the Secretariat of the Trafficking Against Persons Secretariat within the Ministry of National Security.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
And again, World Day Against Trafficking in Persons is tomorrow, July 30th every year.
Yes.
Thanks again for being here.
And thank you for having me.
We're going to break for news and be back with Morning Blend Business. We're talking about the Bahamas-China Friendship Association and a lot of exciting things going on with them. That's when we get back. Stay with us here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Would you take my call when I start to crack? Would you rescue me? Would you rescue me? Would you rescue me when I'm by myself? When I need your love, if I need your help, would you rescue me?
Southwest Plaza has so many stores. I've been trying to find S Bahamas, the Ashai Institute, BENC Snack World, Bamboo Shack Bahamas, Air, the Athlete's Foot, and BTC, Games and more, John Bull, Pine Threads, Alive, Bahari, Dairy Queen, 700 Wines and Spirits, Sandy's, Clarkson, Island Luck, Starbucks, and Lowe's Pharmacy, plus Marco's Pizza and Lorraine. Southwest Plaza, what a wide array of stores. Southwest Plaza, stop by today and explore.
Throughout history, from bartering in ancient markets to the invention of paper currency, convenience has been at the heart of the way we pay. As time marched on, so have we, from barter to cash and cash to digital. Whether you pay with an online bank transfer, digital wallet, or contactless card, with digital payments, options abound. The world never stops evolving, and neither should you. Choose freedom, choose flexibility, choose convenience. The future of pay is digital. Visit us online at livedigitalbahamas.com and on social media.
Hey kids, it's back. The Jeff Rogers Summer Basketball Camp, July 28th to August 8th at the Kendall Isaacs Gym. Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. for boys and girls, 5 to 18. Hear and learn from the NBA superstars past and present, including our very own Buddy Hield of the Golden State Warriors, Klay Thompson of the Dallas Mavericks, former Laker great Michael Sweet Bells Thompson, another great among the point guards back in the day, Muggsy Bogues, and many others. Application form out at the Bahamas Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, Tonic Williams, Darling Highway. Call 341-4021 or check the website, jeffrogersbasketballcamp.com.
As a healthcare professional, you dedicate your life to caring for others. But even with the best care, legal challenges can arise. Protect your practice and your peace of mind with medical malpractice insurance from Star General. At Star General, we've partnered with Lloyd's of London to bring you comprehensive professional liability insurance designed specifically for those consulting or practicing privately. Visit our website today so you can focus on what you do best, caring for your patients, while we take care of them. Insurance is simple.
Can you see me? I might be bruised, frequently absent, depressed, and even distracted. Can you see me? I might be branded with tattoos, over-sexualized, and controlled by a person that is older than me. Can you see me? I might always have a bodyguard, fearful, and never have access to my identification card. Can you see me? I might always sound scripted or rehearsed, and I wrote this verse so that you would be able to see me. If you think someone is a victim of trafficking in persons, call Police Emergency Contact at 919 or Crime Stoppers at 328-8477. This message is being brought to you by the Ministry of National Security.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Tuesday, July 20. Morning Blend listeners, once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Laverne had to leave us, but this morning we are talking about the Bahamas-China Friendship Association, and they've got a number of exciting initiatives, things to tell us about. We're very pleased to have back with us Dr. Donovan Moxey. Good morning, sir. Great to have you with us.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Bahamas. It's certainly great to be here.
Very different capacity.
Yes, very different capacity, definitely.
All right, so tell us about the Bahamas-China Friendship Association. How long has this been a thing?
Definitely. So as an organization, we were founded in 2004. And so as many people would remember, the Bahamas normalized its diplomatic relations with the People's Republic of China back in 1997. Mm-hmm. And soon, shortly after that, a team from the Chamber of Commerce actually made a trip to China. And that trip was all a part about building formal relations at a people-to-people level. And so what they found out was that there's an organization called the Chinese People's Association for Friendship with Foreign Countries. Mm. And so this is an organization actually started by the government. And the goal is essentially connecting and aligning with people from other countries on a people-to-people basis, strictly as an NGO. And so from that, the Bahamas then formed the Bahamas-China Friendship Association in 2004. And obviously, we are one of about 400 type organizations all over the world. So just about in every country. So you have multiples in multiple countries. And so we're just one of those friendship associations.
Yeah. Tell us a little more about the goals.
Yes. And when we were formed, the objective, we had what we call 3 bridges. And they were cultural exchange, education, and economic opportunities. And so all of the initiatives that we undertake as an organization really serve to build and strengthen those bridges between the people of the Bahamas and the people of the People's Republic of China.
Yeah.
Right.
So how many members do you have, and how does that look?
Yes,
membership?
definitely. We have about 20 members right now, and members are open to both business as well as individuals as well as students. And so our membership is $100 a year. That's it. If you're a regular individual, if you're a business, it's $500 per year. And if you're a student, it's $25 per year. And so being a member, obviously, of the organization puts you in a network of individuals who have and mutual interest in essentially building these relationships with China. And so, but you can participate in Arctic activities without being a member. And so that's what we're here to do, is talk about what those activities are that we do. So from a cultural standpoint, we have our calligraphy and wine tasting, which is a pretty unique event where we blend Bahamian idiomatic and colloquial phrases. We convert those to Mandarin, and then you have the ability to learn those phrases, learn the calligraphy, all while sipping and enjoying wine.
Yeah.
So obviously this is an event catered at the adults who like to sip wine and have a great time.
Yeah.
And then we have a cultural event, a kite flying event for underprivileged children. And by the way, the proceeds from this event are actually used to help us fund that event, because we purchase kites, food, and other entertainment items for underprivileged kids. And so we've been doing this now for several years. The last 2 years, we've been at Aquinas' college, their big open sports field. And so we work with the Ministry of Youth, we work with the various group homes, and we identify kids who want to come out, learn how to construct and build Chinese kites. So it's a great time for us.
Yeah.
And by the way, we have people like Rotary Bahamas that come in and volunteer, as well as Mega Sci-Fi and other volunteers with the kids, because we have about maybe between 125 and 150 children that come out and really enjoy this event.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to talk about the events in just a bit, but do you ever get into any of the geopolitical discussions?
No. We stay far away from that. You got to remember now, we are a people-to-people organization. So it's about building those bonds of friendship. So all of the geopolitical talk, all of the geopolitical positioning, we don't get involved in any of that. It's all on a people-to-people level.
Does it make things uncomfortable in any way, seeing what some people are saying and the back and forth?
Not really. What it does, I know for me, I mean, obviously you hear all the things that Bahamians say and other people say about what they think about China, but they've never been. I've been to China 3 times.
Okay.
The very first time I was in China in 2018, I felt like a celebrity.
Wow.
And the reason being is you go to that country, the people are genuinely friendly, they're genuinely curious. I mean, I lost count how many times people ask me just on the street to take my photograph.
Okay.
And people come up and they talk to you and they touch you and they touch your hair and it's almost like, you know, they see somebody that came from another planet. But it's a very friendly curiosity that's there. I fell in love with the food in China. I kid you not. I
Which part did you go?
I was in a province called Hainan Province. Okay. And Hainan is the island province in China. It's in it's near the South China Sea area. And it's one of those provinces where it's like coming to the equivalent of Paradise Island for China. And so it was very good. The food was excellent. I mean, it was unbelievable. Right. It was a great experience.
When was this? The first time?
This was 2018 for me. Yeah.
So
And I've been back a total of 3 times. And then we're headed back as part of a trade mission in September 19th to the 29th. We're going to Yiwu, China. It's my second time now going to Yiwu. And Yiwu is the largest commodities market in the world. And so we're taking a pretty nice sizable group. So far, I think we've got about 12 to 15 people that have confirmed that they're going to attend for us. And we're probably going to get about 20 to 25. So again, we're going to stop at 30. So if anybody's interested, you can check our website out and you can come in and join us. Join us on our trade mission.
We're going to talk about that in a moment as well. So do you speak Mandarin now?
Ni hao, seijin, that's about it.
I understood one thing you said. All right. So this is pretty cool, and anybody can join.
Yes, anybody can join.
Yeah. All right. So let's begin with the calligraphy and wine tasting. So this I think answers one of the questions I've had. So if you have wine, you'll be better at calligraphy, right?
Yeah, you have a great time. You have a great time there. You have a great time.
All right, so let's talk about this.
This is our 3rd year for it, and so
this is an annual thing.
It's annual thing. Okay. It's an annual event, and so as an organization, we were thinking about ways in which we can, in a very relaxed environment, introduce Bahamians to the Chinese language. most times you will hear people speak Mandarin and you'll be like, my God, that sounds like something I could never learn. I don't even understand it. But the funny thing is that we have quite a number of young persons who are part of our organization that studied in China, Bahamians, that are fluent in Mandarin. Wow. I mean, it is amazing when you see them speak, and it's just unbelievable. So our thing was, how do we now make this connection, again, build this bridge? So the funny thing that we came up with was, wait a minute, what if we took Bahamian phrases like bush crack man gone, soon directly, dog eat your lunch, conky Joe, fix your face, reverse back. You could name, we got about 45 to 50 Bahamian phrases, and we convert it to Mandarin, and then we create the calligraphy in traditional Chinese characters.
Oh my goodness.
All of a sudden now you've got a very fun environment to be in. It sort of breaks down these barriers and walls psychologically you have to learn in the language. So people come in, they find the phrase they like, they start the calligraphy. We have our Mandarin speakers that teach them actually how to say that. You're saying your Bahamian phrase.
Wow, okay. So you can say some of those?
No, not me.
not
No.
you.
I won't even try. Believe me. I wish one of our Mandarin speakers were here, but I wouldn't even try. But I will try on Thursday night. So you come out Thursday night to the event, and you can certainly try to hear me pronounce my favorite phrase.
Yeah. So Thursday. So what do you have to do if you want to be a part of this?
Tickets are online, and so you can purchase tickets via our website. So you can go to bcfa242.org. Or tickets are also available at Ticketbox. So you can go to ticketboxevents.com, and tickets are electronic for you. And so it's so far the tickets have been going pretty well. So we've had a bunch of corporate partners that come in and buy tickets. In fact, we've had corporate partners with us who've been with us from day one. And mainly you have a lot of folks in the insurance industry. You have a lot of attorneys that come out, and people in industry and what have you that come out as well. So it's a fun time. It's a great time.
Oh, and tickets are the cost
Tickets are $100 and includes all the wine you can drink, of course. It includes all of your materials. It includes food. We have a full meal for you, both the seafood type as well as the land type food. So you have that blend. We also have
Chinese
exotic,
food?
not quite Chinese food, but yeah. But when we have a lot of exotic cheeses and fruit as well. So you have the pairings. And then our wine sponsor this year is Commonwealth Brewery. Commonwealth Brewery has a large selection of wines they have available to you. And so they have a sommelier who will be there, and they will teach you about the wine pairings with the food that we have. So you have a lot to learn that night as well. And then on top of that, we always feature a young Bahamian artist. So we have a young Bahamian artist that comes in, and they do a original work of art that night. They're painting.
Wow.
So it's a blend of Chinese and Bahamian culture, the art that they paint. And then you have the ability to bid on that art.
Okay.
And so the artwork has been great. So far over the last 2 years, the average bid price, the winning bid price, I believe, was over $1,000.
Oh my goodness.
And so, so it's a great evening.
And you said this goes towards the kites.
This goes towards the kite. Yeah, all of the proceeds that we collect go towards us buying the kites and having a great time for the kids from the communities.
Yeah. So what is the format? How's it going to work? Everybody's sitting around.
Yeah, everybody has come in. They have their
characters?
table. You come in, everybody, when you come into the room, the table is filled with calligraphy materials. And then obviously we have two of our members who are Mandarin speakers. They're the host and hostess for the night. And the ambassador will be there. Last year, she got very involved, had a great time there as well. And so they will basically walk you through the evening, and you will have the ability to say it. You have the ability to prove that you can say it better than somebody else at your table. And it's a great event. In fact, you have a lot of corporate teams that bring their organizational members there, and they have a great time. It's really a great corporate team building event. So it's a chance to relax. Wine relaxes most people.
Yeah.
And then we have cider too. So there for the non-alcoholic drinkers.
Right. That's a good idea.
Commonwealth Brewery has a selection of ciders they'll be bringing, so non-alcoholic drinks. So you have a chance to really relax and have a great time. What's amazing to me though, and maybe I date myself, is that we have some phrases that some young people, Bahamians, have never heard.
No.
And it's amazing to me. I'm like, how do you never hear about, like one person told me they've never heard of the term soon directly.
Oh boy.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
That's a little child. That's got to be a child.
So it's
My
amazing
goodness.
how many phrases people say they've never heard. Wow. Like I asked somebody one time before, I said, you know what fire engine is?
They
say
told
people
you
cook
no?
fire engine. They say, you never heard the term cooking fire engine? I say, what are you talking about? Never knew fire engine was corned beef and white rice.
Sorry,
I bet some of your callers didn't even know that. I bet some of your callers
No way,
didn't even know
not Guardian Radio. But that's the world is changing fast. All right, and this is at
Margaritaville Resort starts at 6:30 p.m. this Thursday. And so the dress is just normal business casual. Don't dress up because we're coming out to have a great time. You're going to be playing with some ink and calligraphy.
Right, yeah.
And so come out to have a relaxing time.
And so you should be there for the beginning.
Yes, for the beginning. Be there for the beginning.
Right,
Get there because we picked the time at 6:30 because it's kind of right after work, so you don't have to worry about fighting traffic. You just come right after work. You come on in. And by the way, if you don't buy your tickets online, which you should, we'll also take your cash at the door, provided we have space for you.
Great. So this is not something you want to come at 8 o'clock for.
No, you don't want to come at 8 o'clock. You're gonna miss a lot of
Yeah.
fun. A lot of fun.
All right. So 6:30 Thursday night. Time is flying by the end
Flying
of the month.
by, I know.
All right, that sounds good, but you've got a lot of other things going on as well. Which one should we get to next?
Let's talk about the trade mission. Okay. So we have a trade mission to Yiwu, China that's scheduled for the 29th of, scheduled for between the 19th and the 29th of September. And as I would have mentioned before, this is actually the second time we're going on a trade mission to Yiwu. Last year, the persons who attended had a great time. It was amazing to me. I mean, we go to the Yiwu, it's the Yiwu Commodities Market. They have 5 districts in Yiwu. And each of the districts have about, 5 floors. And they're in total about 2 million plus products, over 75,000 stores. And I think when I was there, I probably only visited maybe 2 or 3 of the districts, maybe saw 10% of the stores in a week. It's that big.
My goodness.
Every product that you've ever seen on any store shelf at Amazon, you will find in Yiwu.
All right, so you don't have the flyer in front of me. I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to go through the districts.
Right. Yes, go ahead.
District 1, toys, stationery, accessories, and household essentials. That's quite a bit. District number 2, bags, jewelry, hardware, and electronics. Number 3, footwear, cosmetics, and office supplies.
Right.
District 4, textiles and clothing. And District 5, imported goods, food, cosmetics, houseware, and electronics.
Yes, and these districts are huge, humongous. In fact, I went to one section of the district, and I'd say 90% of the products you see downtown in the straw market that are made you see right in the districts, including the Made in the Bahamas logos on them. I'm telling you.
Oh, dear.
It's there. It's there. And that's the truth. That's the reality. Not only that, you see those with Jamaica, Cayman, everybody.
What?
It's all that. They make everything. Everything is there. Everything.
So,
the way it's set up, and this is why we're going to Yiwu. If you go to some of these other fairs in China, people talk about Canton and all these bigger fairs. When you make those orders, you have to literally order almost a container of items. When you go to Yiwu, your minimum order quantity may be equivalent to a pallet. So if you're a small business person looking to get started, Yiwu is where you want to go. And so you can deal directly with manufacturers reps or even the factory in terms of what you got in Yiwu. The other thing we're actually adding to this right now, and I just found out about this year, is within Yiwu, we also have a materials and construction market in Yiwu. So there are a number of folks who are in the construction space want to find materials like countertops and flooring and windows and doors. We're going to that market. Then there's also an Yiwu furniture market. So every furniture you would have seen in Rooms to Go or wherever it is, it's in this market.
Yeah.
And we're going to also take a day to go to those markets too as well. So again, our target is this. If you are a small business owner, if you're somebody who wants to look at sourcing goods directly from China, this is the trade mission you need to go on, and this is where you need to go, Yiwu. In fact,
someone's asking for you to spell it.
Y-I-W-U. That's Yiwu. It's pronounced Yiwu, is how it's pronounced, but it's spelled Y-I-W-U. Okay. And I won't mention the names, but there are a number of retailers right now in this country who source the primary bulk of their goods in the retail from Yiwu.
Yeah. So do you need a special license to go over there?
No, not at all. The beautiful thing is this, and when we form diplomatic relations with China, and then you can really thank the government for this, is that as a Bahamian, you require no visa to get into China. Zero. No visa. And so, and the beauty about it is when costs and prices, airline tickets and hotels are the absolute lowest. Wow. If you can look at our flyer, it said that single occupancy is $3,100 per person. That includes airfare and hotel. Double occupancy, $2,600 per person. When we went last year, in April of last year, those numbers were 5,000 because of the airfare and the hotel.
Right.
The other thing I tell people is I've been to China now 3 times. the best hotel rooms I have ever stayed in my life. And I've traveled to Europe. I've traveled to Central America. I've traveled to Canada. I've traveled all over the United States. Is in China.
Really?
I kid you not.
Any particular part or?
Every hotel room I've stayed into
Yeah.
has been the absolute best hotel I've ever been at in my life. And I've stayed in, we're going to the Marriott in Yiwu is where we're staying.
Yeah.
Unbelievable hotel. I've also stayed in Four Seasons Hotel. I've stayed in a Holiday Inn in China. When you compare it to what you would get as a Western, even though it's a Western brand, it's at a totally different level.
Texas agreeing with you. I agree. Best hotels.
Best hotels ever. Best hotels, best service. Unbelievable.
My goodness. Wow. Okay, so the cost that you mentioned, that includes everything. Your
That
airfare,
includes your airfare and that includes your hotel. Now, we do have some ground transportation. That'll be extra.
Okay.
And then we're also planning some local tours. So when I was there last year, we went to a local temple that we did. We went to a local historic village that had a night market, and you had a show and unbelievable food. You can get a 5-course meal in China for anywhere between $12 and $15.
What?
And I'm telling you, the best food, the absolute best food that you can imagine. The best fruit I've ever had.
Yeah.
Grapes. I'm a mango lover.
Mm-hmm.
Best and sweetest mango I've ever had in my life.
And this is
I had in
mangoes
China.
grown in China?
Grown in China. In fact, they have varieties of mangoes that you've never seen in your life.
Right. Wow.
And this one that I had, in fact, I took a picture of it on my phone somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It is the absolute, when I say this mango is unbelievable, they've got these grapes that are probably as long as your finger.
Wow.
These dark purple grapes. Sweetest thing ever. It's not a round grape. It's like a lengthwise grape that they have. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
My goodness. And the dates again, September 19th.
December 19th to the 29th of this year. You can still go online. Again, everything is on our website. So BCFA, we're completely electronic. So if you go to bcfa242.org, you'll see the information there about the trade mission to Yiwu, China.
Now, the flyer says that the full payment is required by July 31st. Is that
Yes,
still?
we would like to have it in there. Now, what we would want you to
2 days.
do, that's 2 days away. But here's the thing, and you know, what you can do is there's a $500 non-refundable deposit. I'd say if you're serious about going, make that $500 payment. And the reason why we say honestly the 31st of July is because the airfares tend to start to tick up. And so we're not guaranteeing that pricing that we give you. If you start going within the pricing that we have on our flyers, it's bet that you lock things in as soon as possible. And so that's where that date comes in.
Okay, we're talking with Donovan Moxie. It's the Bahamas China Friendship Association. People say, slow down. And we're trying to write all this down. Give us the website one more
The
time.
website is www.bcfa242.org. And BCFA stands for Bahamas China Friendship Association. Of course, 242, we like to add that everywhere. And then .org.
Okay. All right. So again, you don't have to have a business license. You
No,
don't need
you don't have to have a business license.
You need a business license here in the Bahamas.
No, not at all. I mean, there are people who have gone and they've purchased. In fact, one of the persons went. They purchased a lot of the, the little. I don't wear the not the UGG boots, but the Crocs, right? And those Crocs have those little things that stick in them in the holes that people like so much.
Yeah.
And we were in Yiwu, and they were like, these little things in the Bahamas cost you $8, $9, $10 sometimes, depending on what you get. Well, in China, they were selling for 30 cents. Literally bought like all of the lady had in the store.
Oh, wow.
And by the time they got home, in a matter of weeks, it was all sold.
My goodness.
The French, people just bought them. I didn't even know that thing was a thing.
Yeah.
But again, like I said before, there are over 2 million products in Yiwu, commodity products. These are products you see on the shelf everywhere you've gone. Everywhere. Okay, the only difference would be is that somebody's got a brand sticked on one and the other one, but it's the same exact product. Why? Because it's made in the same factory.
Yeah. And he's saying clothing, you've got all of that as well.
Yes, all that. I've seen clothing that looks just like Fabletics, just like Nike stuff in these stores. And the only difference is the logo.
Yeah.
Quality, everything. Because the factories make the same thing.
Right.
Most people don't know. Most of the tools that people get, like your Milwaukee tools, your Black & Decker tools, they're made by maybe 2 or 3 factories in China. The only thing they do, when they're ready to do another brand, they just take the logo and slap the brand on for the most part. A couple little things may change here and there. For the most part, it's there.
Okay, so with the trade mission, how many people in total can you take?
Right now, we're trying to limit to a group of about 30. And so right now, we know people are coming in and paying their deposits very, very quickly. So if you want to get on, I'd say go on and pay that deposit right away. And then we'll love to have you with us.
Yeah. And when's the last date that you can, if you put down the deposit?
If you put down the deposits, here's the thing, and this is what we're saying. The numbers that we gave you, we can reasonably say that you'll get those numbers by the 31st of July. If you put down your deposit, we're not saying you can't go, but know that as time now starts to move closer and closer, the price say to us, hey, man, I thought you said it was $3,100. Now they're telling me $4,000. Well, you waited too long.
Right.
So that's what it is.
All right. That's pretty cool. I think after you get back, you have to
without question. And this is the third thing that we talked about too. What I would talk about as well, which is the video logging competition.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can talk about. I don't know if you need to take a break or what have you.
No, let's do that. Let's get right into it then.
So one of the things that we did also too is that knowing that there are a number of Bahamians to go to China, but there's some Bahamians that really don't get the opportunity. So what we said was that how do we now get Bahamians who go to China who talk about it to really come and really show their experience. So we decided to put together a video logging contest. So now what we're saying is that if you've been to China and captured video between January of 2024 and coming up this November 15th of 2025, you can now enter into a video logging contest. And that means that you put together a video little presentation of 1 minute to 5 minutes. You basically describe your experiences in China from a Bahamian perspective, okay? And then you get to now communicate this to everybody that's here. We then take that particular video, you post it on social media, your hashtag to connect to it, and then we will share that with the members of the public and ask everybody to take a look at these video presentations, vote on it. We have judges that vote on it too as well, originality, technical capabilities, all those kinds of things as well. But the short of it is that we want Bahamians to communicate to other Bahamians from their perspective what it was like going to China. Now, it's a contest, so that means there are prizes.
Wow.
So we have two categories. We have young persons, which is between the ages of 14 and 18, because there's a couple of young high school groups that are actually going to China for the summer.
Okay.
And then we also have adults, 18 and older. And so first prizes for each of those groups is in cash.
Wow.
Second prize is $500 in cash, and third prize is $300 in cash. And then we have a bunch of consolation prizes as well. So if you know somebody who's traveling to China, i.e. going on a trade mission, going on a training mission, or going on a summer group, somebody who's currently studying or working in China, which we have quite a number of Bahamians who are there now, and they want to enter this contest because they want to win a couple extra dollars. But we want you to enter into this particular contest. It's called our video log contest. Again, all of the rules and the entry form is available on our website, bcfa242.org. And we think it's a great opportunity for Bahamians to learn from the other Bahamians' perspective exactly what it's like to go there. In fact, I had a very good friend of mine. She was there for a training mission a couple of months ago. Bahamian lady, tall, dark-skinned, statuesque, very attractive woman. She said she knows now what it feels like to be a celebrity.
Wow.
She actually gave me a couple of videos, right? And I kid you not. She was somewhere, and these young Chinese girls were clamoring around her, wanting to take photographs, wanting to get autographs, wanting to touch her hair. I mean, she said it was unbelievable.
And it's not in a disrespectful way.
No, not in a
It's
disrespectful
all-
way. And it's in a very, I can tell you right now, the Chinese people, they make you feel welcome. I mean, it's unbelievable. Like I took a trip to one of the monasteries or the temples in the mountains, which is historical temple. I get out there, get to the car, and I'm walking to the temple. And I see this older gentleman, probably about 60, 70 years old, looks at me, makes a beeline toward me, and has this smile on his face, and his eyes are lighting up. And as he's walking toward me, he's looking back to his friend, he's pointing at me, and then he's kind of tapping his skin, and he gets to me, and it's like he comes to me, and he like hugs me like I'm a lost long friend. And he can't speak, I can't speak his language, but he's basically telling his friend, man, take a picture, please take a picture with me and this guy, right? It's amazing.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Okay, I have so many things I could say. But that sounds like a really incredible experience. So with the video log competition, you don't have to have been with you guys.
No, you can go there on your own.
On
you
your
can
own.
Go there on your own. Doesn't matter. You can go there on your own. You could have a friend who's in college there or university there. They can submit as well while they're in China. Because what we want to do, and there have been a couple of Bahamians who've done some very entertaining videos about their trip to China. And I can imagine some of the things that I'm telling you, people will tell you, yes, that's exactly what it is. But personally, like, I don't take a whole lot of videos, so I don't think about it, right? So, but it was always good to have and understand this experience from a Bahamian perspective, so people know and understand. This is what it's all about. So you have to understand that this is what people experience, and here's the video to prove it. Here's the pictures. Here's what's going on. Here's how this really works. Here's how you interact. Here's how you experience certain things in China. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, I've been hearing quite a few interesting things. Folks who say they've been at parts of Asia and how the experience was completely different,
right?
And overwhelmingly positive.
Very
with
much
China,
so. Very much so,
compared to some other places that we won't mention. But it's just good to know. Okay, so there's a deadline for this.
Yes. The deadline for the competition is November the 15th is when we want the entry. There's also an entry form. And so we want you to go online again, bcfa242.org. And when you get there, you'll see the information on the video logging competition in our events section. And once you put in your application before November 15th, you get your video in before November 15th. And we'd love to see those because I'm curious too. Because I know my experiences in China, but I'd like to see what everybody else experiences, and then we can share this with the greater Bahamian public.
Excellent. And again, you said it to get to China. If you're Bahamian, you don't need to.
You don't need any visas at all. Wow. Once you have a valid Bahamian passport, I think you have about either 6 or 3 months in your passport in terms of not going to expire. And you get there, and it's amazing. People come, the Chinese immigration office, to see your passport. They know you're from the embassy. They stamp it, and go have a great time. That's it. Yeah.
And how often do you do the trade missions? Is this an
trade
annual
missions
thing?
annually?
Okay.
Trade missions annually. Our calligraphy and wine tasting annually. Our kite flying event is, again, as an organization when we were founded by our founders. And so Arthur Folks, by the way, was one of the founders. He was the first vice president of the organization. Ambassador Joe Curry, who is now the ambassador to the Holy See, he was the very first president, and he's now recognized our president emeritus for the organization. Beautiful. He was a part of it. There was a number of folks who many people know about was really a part of the founding group. Philip Simon, who's now in charge of the Royal Caribbean. Marlon Johnson. Was also one of the founding members. Wong, I forget the last name first, but on our website, we have all of the founding members that are there. So again, most people haven't heard of us. Obviously we've been kind of dormant, but now we've sort of revitalized ourselves for the last 4 or 5 years. Yeah. And so we've been around for quite a while. And when the organization was founded, it was recognized as one of those organizations that can really help to build these bridges between China and the Bahamas.
Excellent. All right. So all the information is there about all these events that are coming up and the deadlines that are fast approaching.
Yes.
And don't forget Thursday night.
Thursday night, come out and have fun with us. I mean, believe me, it were people who didn't quite know what to expect. They came out, they had a great time. And I'm telling you, you're going to be amazed. It's always amazing when I see a young Bahamian person, professional, that speaks fluent Mandarin. Yeah. It's just unbelievable to me. Yeah. It's almost akin to, you can see some Chinese Bahamians and they speak in Bahamian dialect. And it's like, you do a double take?
Right.
Like, what are you talking about? And you recognize, that we have these sort of blends of cultures, if you will, as well. And again, I mean, most people who are the historians, they recognize that connection between Chinese people and Bahamian people, indentured servitude, all those, even the Caribbean across the board. I mean, there's a huge connection between the Chinese diaspora outside of China and the Caribbean.
Very much so. Yep. Very much so. Again, it's the Bahamas China Friendship Association, and that's why the website is
bcfa242.org.
Okay, good stuff. Very exciting, Donovan. You're going to come back and after the mission.
And definitely. In fact, prior to the trade mission, we'll let everybody know who's going to the trade mission as well, because we're really excited about this. I think people will have their eyes open going to Iwu. And I'm telling you, once you go to Iwu, if you're a small business owner and you want to source suppliers, Iwu is the place to go.
Sounds amazing. You might not be able to make this one, but who knows? Maybe next year. We'll see how this goes. Dr. Donovan Moxie, thank you so much. Again, Bahamas China Friendship Association and bcfa242.org.
Okay.
All right. Thanks again. We're going to take a break and be back to wrap things up. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
At CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
With RBC, your idea of loving every journey happens now. Free up cash with affordable auto financing from RBC. With competitive rates and no bank fees, it's the perfect time to make every journey something special. Apply now to pre-qualify in 60 seconds at rbc.com/auto loan to shop with confidence. Conditions apply. RBC, your idea of loving your journey happens here.
Shop early to get your uniforms and catch Janae's Uniform Center's buy 4, get 1 free sale. Pre-monogrammed and regular school shirts, dry fit and cotton polos, jumpers, skirts, boys' long and short pants, PE shorts, underclothes, tights, socks, neckties, belts, sleeping mats, hair accessories to work desk. Get 50% off backpacks, lunch bags, and raincoats. Buy 4 school shirts, get 1 free. Buy 2 skirts, jumpers, or pants, get the third 50% off. Need embroidery and monogramming done? Visit Janae's Uniform Center early. Beat the back-to-school rush. Janae's Chesapeake Road back-to-school special. Restrictions apply.
Tell them. Are you being smart about your money? Protect yourself from investment fraud and scams with these quick tips. S. Spot scams by staying skeptical and alert. M. Magnify or zoom in and question suspicious offers. If it seems too good to be true, it usually is. A. Always authenticate sources before sharing personal info. R. Report scams to the authorities. T. Trust only licensed financial institutions. Visit centralbankbahamas.com or email exr@centralbankbahamas.com to learn more.
You work hard for your money, so let your money work hard for you. With as little as $1,000 to start, you can watch your money grow by investing in CFAL's Bahamian dollar and US dollar mutual funds, each tailored to match your unique investment profile. Our expert advisors are dedicated to crafting personalized investment strategies to help you achieve your financial goals. Don't miss out on the chance to earn higher returns on your hard-earned money. Join the thousands of investors who trust CFAL and start your journey toward financial freedom today. Visit us at cfal.com to learn more about our saving and investment options. And let us help you build wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
It is time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. Central Bank Governor John Rawls says that the Bahamian economy continues to expand and continued to in the first 6 months of the year. This was in the central bank's quarterly briefing, the press briefing yesterday. He said that based on available indicators, the Bahamian economy continued to expand during the first 6 months of 2025, but at a slightly moderated speed compared to 2024. He says this mainly corresponded to more subdued growth in tourism. He says otherwise the economy is benefiting from sustained foreign investment activity and increased stimulus from private sector credit. Governor Roll also saying that inflation slowed significantly compared to last year. There was a foregoing expectation that the tarification exercise of the U.S. Donald Trump administration would have caused a spike in inflationary pressure for the Bahamas, but Roll says that we've not seen any cumulative effect on trade policy on prices. You can read more on that in today's Guardian business section. Bahamas Striping Group of Companies signing a loan agreement worth $100 million with the Africa Export-Import Bank, Africa Bank, to support continued infrastructure work throughout the country and for the company's expansion into the Caribbean. The loan was signed during the Afro-Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum in St. George's, Grenada yesterday. Senior Vice President Donald Starr explained that the funding will be divided between projects on Eleuthera, Exuma, Nassau, and to expand Bahamas Striping's bids for public-private partnership agreements across the Caribbean. Cat Island Infrastructure Company Limited signing a $40 million loan agreement with the Afro-Exim Bank to complete the Cat Island Road and Water Improvement Project by August 2027. The company's CEO, Keno Simmons, telling Guardian Business that 23% of the work on Cat Island has already been done and that the loan will take the project to the finish line. Simmons says the project involves 40 miles of road infrastructure and 94 miles of water mains. He said the funding from Afro-Exim Bank highlights the growing ties between the bank and the Caribbean. Again, more on these stories in today's Guardian business section. Overseas, as U.S. President Donald Trump prepares to announce new tariff increases, the cost of his policies is starting to come into focus for a domestic manufacturing sector that depends on global supply chains, with a new analysis suggesting factory costs could increase by roughly 2% to 4.5%. Researchers at the Washington Center for Equitable Growth, who conducted the analysis, will say there's going to be a cash squeeze for a lot of firms. The analysis released today points to challenges Trump might face in trying to sell his tariffs to the public as a broader political and economic win, and not just as evidence his negotiating style gets other nations to back down. Meanwhile, the Federal Reserve is expected to leave its short-term interest rate unchanged on Wednesday for the fifth straight meeting, a move that will likely underscore the deep divide between how Chair Jerome Powell and his chief critic, U.S. President Trump, see the economy. The Fed is increasingly divided over its steps, though, and many economists expect that two members of the Fed's governing board, both appointed by Trump, could dissent on Wednesday in favor of cutting rates. Closer to home in your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Monday. Your market mover is 1,500 shares, closing down 1 cent to $4.63. Fidelity Bank moving 1,000, up 75 cents to $16. Consolidated Water down 1 cent, closing at $5.92. And Emir Incorporated down 9 cents, closing at $11.32. The BISX All Share Index closing at 2,978.94, up 0.64. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. That is going to do it for us on this Tuesday morning. I want to thank Laverne Gardner for being with us this morning earlier, filling in for DeQuesta Dean, who's going to be joining us later in the week. And thank you for listening. I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, have a great day, everybody. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.
Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app. Nassau, Bahamas.